Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 54 of Powerbombshells. I am Sam. That is Mel. We are just two bras talking about the wrestling we watch. And sorry, we're a couple of minutes late. We were having some technical stuff that we were dealing with because we're going to make this broadcast a little fancier than we normally do. So
we're going to try. We're going to in true broad bombshell fashion. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah, so, this is true.
Enjoy the ride.
Hello, Brad.
Brad's here.
Thanks for joining us this week. We missed you last week. We're glad. Hope you had a nice time. It looks like you did. I saw the pictures you posted, so it looks like you had a good time without us. So,
That is awesome.
Yes. And Mel, I see, has her hat this week. Nobody's yelling at her in the comments to put her hat on.
I didn't want to put this one on, and this one's a little bit, I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Gotta give a good shout out. The Seattle Seahawks community lost a very special member of the fan base. We have a gal. She is her name is Patty Mama Blue Hammond, and she has been going to Seahawks games since time immemorial. And she is, if you look her up, Mama Blue or Mama Hawk, or she just every game. Part of the scenery. If you ever see, when they do the pans of the stadium and everything, she's in them. You see her, you'd know her if you saw her, if you're someone that's an NFL fan. Right. And unfortunately, she passed away at the age of 91.
Oh, wow.
Condolences to her family. Absolutely. And big, absolute, huge. The fan base today, I was happy to see. We were all kind of commenting, and because I was really sad. I was like, oh my God, no, this is a tribute video. No. And so I went and looked it up.
Oh,
but I again want to give huge supporter, Mama Hawk, Mama Blue. Go look her up. She's got her Facebook up there. Send her family condolences.
Oh, nice. That's nice.
I was so happy, and I feel really grateful that I was able to be a season ticket holder with the Seattle Seahawks during a really great time, because the fan base is awesome. It's a great community.
Right.
And being able to be in the stadium there with people like that, and her being there every single time. Right. And that's going to be tough. And my hope is we have a tradition where the right before the game, they raise a 12-man flag, because for us fans here, the 12th man. So I think it'd be cool to maybe see her family or something like that. Maybe do that next year.
Oh, that would be very cool.
The season opener, for the home opener, that's something like that.
And, that would be a really cool thing, a really cool tribute for her. That's awesome.
I definitely wanted to say something because.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. I hate to hear that. That's terrible. But it sounds like she was very beloved, and I'm glad that you're honoring her today.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly right. I wanted to give her the honor that she deserves for being. I mean, those are she should go in the Ring of Honor, basically.
Right. Yeah.
That's the conversation that is kind of, there's a little buzz on ring, and it'd be fun to have something like that. And it's historically, this organization has been good about great about stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
And also, this Seattle hat will be somehow related a little bit to our huge announcement that we're going to have today on the show.
But you're not getting it right now.
But you're not getting it now. You have to wait.
We know how this works.
Yeah.
We're not giving away the information right now.
Don't blow your
We're gonna do like now we gotta do like Tony Khan did, or like AEW did a couple weeks ago, when they just didn't even talk about it, and they just went through. They kept teasing stuff, and then they're like, "Are we gonna have this announcement?" And then they just sneak Adam. They pull Adam Cole in, and we're like, "Hey, give the announcement."
Did you just read this copy here, Adam?
We do not have Adam Cole here to make this announcement for us, so you'll just have to
suffer us.
Yes, exactly. Brad said, "Keep it around for the ratings." Exactly.
Let's see. He knows. Smart. We have smart fans.
We do. And thank you, Brad, for Brad was nice enough to share our live stream, but also my my article that I wrote, because I did a for Daily DDT. I did a preview and of today's card and match predictions, and so he was kind enough to share that with his people, so I appreciate
Oh,
that.
that's
I
really
saw it right before we
nice.
went on air, so yes, appreciate that. And Nikki shared it too, so before she says anything, she
Well,
shared it too,
Nikki
and I
knows how
appreciate
much we love her too, but we can always remind her periodically. It's
it.
good to
Yeah.
refresh people. We love you.
Uh-huh.
Make sure people know. My nose
Yes.
is so itchy. So I was gonna ask you something, and now I completely it went. Oh no! You know what it was? It
Mhm.
was congratulations for being out of timeout from for being
Thank you.
super out of timeout. I love
Yeah.
when you get out of timeout because
Thank you.
all the incels come to your
Oh my
timeline
god.
yard, and
Oh
they're
my
so
gosh.
hilarious.
So if you guys didn't hear, I
Sorry,
made it out of timeout on the media call this week. And I was able to ask Tony Khan a question, and I asked him about the All Elite Women's trademark because that's a conversation we had last week. I wrote an article about it, and he was very nice about it. He completely different than the last time I got to ask him a question. It was the generic answer I expected, but I wanted on record that I asked, and so he basically was like, "Yes, it was supposed to be an all women's wrestling show." He didn't really go into detail about like why it didn't happen, whether it was a network decision, his decision, both of them, whatever. He didn't go into that. He just said that he would like to have something like that in the future so that he can feature women more prominently. Of course, he has 3 hours on TV where he could do that, but, apparently that's not where it's. And I do want to make a quick note, and I think quite a few people mentioned this on Thursday during Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor ended up being like 2 hours, and I guess that's going to be how it goes from now on. They had 2 women's matches. It can be done.
Holy crap!
Yeah. I mean, we know
Are you telling me that in a 2-hour show there was more than one women's match?
yeah, and
It
there
looked like
was
people enjoyed ROH too.
it was
So
not only 2 women's matches, but they also had a segment building up the next opponent for Athena.
what?
Yeah, it was like
Will
blowing
you
my mind.
just
And
get right
because
out
it's
of
on a
town?
streaming network, there were no commercials during the women's match. I
Ugh.
can't. I was like, oh my god, because Impact has like 4-minute commercial breaks in their back.
Right, and they do that whole the P&P.
Yeah, and then AEW does the stuff like that. So it's been a while since I've seen well, I mean, other than indie shows where I've seen a full women's match with no commercial break. But
What?
yeah, Honor Club Ring of Honor was really good. It's very fast paced. There was not fast paced in the point that you feel like you're overwhelmed and it just goes, but it flowed really nicely. They had some backstage segments that kind of got you either to a match coming up or a future match in a future episode. So they utilized they had Lexi Nair on there, and she did a really good job, I thought. And they did it was built because one of my concerns was when I saw how many matches were being filmed a couple of weekends ago was that this was basically going to be dark with Ring of Honor wrestlers.
Right.
And it was in a sense, I mean, the matches aren't super long for the most part. I mean, there are some obviously Zack Sabre Jr. got time because of his title matches, the 15-minute time limit.
Yep.
So of course that got
Great.
time. And him and Blake Christian, that was a great, like you and I talked about it. We knew that would be a good match. It was very good.
That stip, God, don't want to because the matches are so good. You want to see them go another 30 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that stipulation makes the matches so good. It's such a what an incredible device to build excitement around. Mm-hmm. And it's Zack Sabre Jr. is always gonna.
Well, and Zack is in a way Zack is forcing them to work his matches, but Zack is also forced to work how they work because obviously the people he faces are not technical wrestlers. So he has to kind of figure out around that, around their styles and stuff. And it's just, I think having Zack as the first champion makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And I really we've talked about it. We really like what they're doing with the younger guys and how they're bringing this in. Brad has let us know that they announced on New Japan this morning that Zack versus Blake is now up for free on YouTube. Go out of your way to watch it. It fits in the 15-minute time limit. It's I really
Perfect.
enjoyed this match, and we're even though in
Oh, right,
GCW
because
they're
they
not
have ROH content on New Japan World because
yes,
that's something. Oh God, this is so awesome.
but this is on YouTube, right? So
Yeah, this will be on YouTube,
is
but
that
yeah,
New Japan's YouTube? I assume.
I don't know.
I guess. I mean, I know
I'm
obviously Ring of
gonna put
Honor.
up Brad's original is ROH really everything I thought AEW would be, and I love AEW.
Brad, that's interesting that you bring that up because I was thinking about that this morning because it came out this week that Scorpio Sky has been cleared for months and they just have not been using him. I thought he was still injured or rehabbing. I had no idea he'd been cleared for months. And I was just like, how do you not use Scorpio Sky? So then I was thinking about
These
it. I was like,
companies are sitting on such deep
yeah, I was
rosters
like,
right
I
now.
know, like, and I will make this argument, and it's still, I agree. Like, you cannot pass up on Brian Danielson. You can't pass up on Adam Cole. You can't pass up, like, you can't pass up on these people. Had these people not been available, I wonder what AEW would look like now with the talent they had when they had the Scorpio Sky, when there was Miro, and I mean, obviously we know Miro is not on TV because Miro does not wanting to do what they want to do, but still, but like they have all these things, and I do, and Brad makes a good point that ROH is what AEW was going to be in the beginning when
it was
they
kind
set
of
out
like
to make
leaning
this.
towards. That's what they
Right.
were. I mean,
And maybe that's why I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the Ring of Honor show. Maybe that's part of it, is because he's right. That's what AEW was supposed to be. And I was thinking about that this morning. And then, so I just don't, if they're not going to use Scorpio Sky, then let him go. Cause he was at the Impact. He was at No Surrender. He was backstage. And so if they're not going to use him, let him go over there with Kat. Him and Kat. I mean, Kaz is obviously can do his own stuff by himself, and Scorpio is obviously a great singles wrestler. But I mean, he could go over there if they're not going to use him. If they're not going to put him in Ring of Honor, which he should be on TV. It just blows my mind that that Scorpio Sky's been cleared for months and they're just not using him. And like you said, there's so much talent that's not being used. And
well, thank God that they're doing ROH and that it's. So the platform was good. It worked good.
Yeah.
No laggy baggy.
No, not on my end. Brad says that match will be on the New Japan YouTube for the people who are listening to us and not watching. You just so you know where to find that. But I had no issues with Honor Club. It ran perfectly. It looks like they stream kind of like Peacock, like I checked in a few minutes, or I logged in a couple minutes early, and they were showing Death Before Dishonor from last year. It was the main event, so it looks like they have a stream 24 hours a day, so you can basically just log on and there's something on, or I think you can go through, and there's their library obviously you have access to as well. I haven't gotten super deep into it. That's the only time that I've logged in, is just to use it for ROH on Thursday night, so I haven't had a chance to like really play around with it. But it looks like there's a lot of content. But so far, like, there was no streaming issues on my end. It wasn't lagging. It was everything it should. I'm hoping that Bleacher Report will be tonight, but we'll see.
About mine on the satellite, barring the big snowstorm we had. It actually kind of sucked. Like, so we had a big snowstorm Friday night where it was like we got, I don't know, almost like a foot of snow in just like 3 or 4 hours. Lord. It just decided that it was like, for days they were like, we're not really sure if we're gonna get snow, but if we do get snow, it's gonna be a lot of snow in a really short period of time. And it was like
fun.
So it ended up being a lot of snow in a really short period of time. And so like I'm right in the middle of SmackDown and like all the Bloodline stuff, and them like, and Cody's Cody's cutting his promo. He's like on his way into it. He's confronting the tribal chief. Okay. And that's it. There it went. I was like, dang, I was even into that promo.
Of course.
That's so rare.
Of course. Damn.
So, all right. So
yes. Oh, and I do want to circle back real quick.
It's supposed to be beautiful today, so
good. I hope it stays that way. But yes, I want to circle back real quick to what we were talking about, being let out of timeout. So some people apparently found, and it goes back to Ring of Honor. So some people apparently found where I timed Willow versus Lady Frost and got like 4.5 minutes. The match was great, by the way, and they should sign Lady Frost, and Willow is amazing. But so I blocked like 30 people on Friday. because they were just quote tweeting it and just saying a bunch of bullshit, of course. And then one person quote tweeted it, but then turned off the reply so I couldn't reply to him with receipts. So I was just like, you know what? I don't have the time or energy for this. I'm trying. It's in the middle of my, during my work. It was during my work day. I was like, I don't have time for this shit. So I just blocked and blocked and blocked. I mean, there was one person who doesn't follow me and they defended it and they were like, I think she's trying to prove a point. Basically,
what
he was like,
hold on,
because some people were like, where's the WWE stuff? Well, if you go back through the thread, you'll see it. And so there's a couple of people I was responding and I was like, I don't watch WWE. I timed them for a year and I'm not gonna watch a product I don't like just to time matches. You can do that if you would.
Wasn't even the point of the this is like, it's I shouldn't, but I do a little bit. It's hilarious to me now because we've known each other long enough where I've seen this happen every time you've got like a little bit of like, if you get a question in or somebody and they all go straight to your timeline and they only go as far back as they feel like they need to. And then they're like, oh, this person times women's matches. Forget her. And it becomes like this.
Yeah, somebody asked me, they were like, do you even like
it's just such a dumpster fire. It's like, no, I know not to read.
Yeah, somebody asked, they were like, do you even like women's wrestling? I'm fucking advocating for more TV time. What the fuck do you think? I mean, I didn't respond because it didn't deserve a response. I just blocked it.
Obviously.
I was just like, because they want to argue. And I was like,
right, exactly. You don't engage them because you're
Brad
smart
says all you do is put the times. It's not like you don't know when the other matches are shorter. It's just a number. Exactly, Brad. And they're great.
It threatens my fragile male ego.
And yes, and it's always been in my replies. It always has been especially when it comes to that. But yeah, it was just like, yeah. And so Mike was like, Mike Gilbert was like, if you're pissing people off with this, then keep doing what you're doing.
I tend to agree with Mike Gilbert.
Yeah, I did too. I was just like, and that's why I was talking about it. And when I was mentioning the other day, I was like, this is so dumb. It's so dumb. These people I'm like, they have found it. That of course there was nothing when Ruby and Emmy, not Ruby, when Emmy and Riho got 10 minutes on Friday night. Nobody was commenting about that. It was just, and they were like, and then people were like, they're like, it's only Tony Khan products. No, Impact did not have a women's match on Thursday. So no, there was no Impact time this week because they didn't even have a damn women's match. They had a segment in the ring and they had a backstage segment, but no match. So if you went back to the previous
probably have stopped doing this, but because you get that reaction from people, it's almost worth continuing to do.
Yeah.
Just because there's a whole group of weirdos that get so butthurt over it.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes I'm like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep doing it because it just, I was like, it's there. I mean, it's part of, and people are like, you should watch the matches. Well, I do. I click start. I click when the bell rings, I click time, and then I watch the match. And then when it rings again, I click stop. And then I screenshot it. It's like, I'm watching the matches. Do you think I just click start and then walk away and wait till the bell rings and come back?
Internet logic.
It's like, God. Yeah, so sometimes I'm like, I don't know how long I'm going to keep doing this because it's just, I got to figure out what to do. I'm so behind. I've got to update it. I had a spreadsheet and then I didn't keep up with it. And so I've got to go. It's going to take a while to go back through everything. And then I've just got to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Because I was like, at this point, it's been like, this October is going to be like 3 years, I think. So I was like, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this stuff.
I love that it was supposed to be just like a quick thing that you did.
Yeah, it was. And then stuff was happening. And then it seemed like, well, then like,
I got a point. Nikki said, no, you watched the timer the whole time. I'm assuming he's being sarcastic.
Exactly. Yeah, I just watched the timer.
I just watched the numbers tick away. Totally. Thank you.
Man, I got to look at my phone for 4 more minutes. Oh my God.
Because that's what Sam comes on, because that's how Sam
that's how I consume women's wrestling. I watch the timer
and I have like these conversations every week. I think, wow, that broad's just looking at her phone the whole time.
Yeah,
that's probably more true for me than it is for you, just because I chat with like people on the live threads.
Right. But I was just like, oh God. So it was making me laugh. I was like, this is so stupid. It was more irritating than anything because I was like, I don't have time to dedicate. Like, I'm trying to, like, I have a day job that has nothing to do with wrestling. Like, I'm trying to, or I just want to go on, if I'm checking in on Twitter just to see what's happening. Like, I don't want to have to go. But it was Twitter. I didn't even, like, I only saw like two. And then my friend texted me and was like, I can't believe you're getting all this hate on the Toms. And I was like, oh, he just means those two. Then I went and looked at it and I was like, why are there fucking 20 quote tweets? Twitter was hiding the notifications for me. So I had no clue. I just thought it was the two. And then I was like, oh my God, there's 20.
The
So when I
Twitter
went,
is so
and then there
frustrating
were
and
like, I
dumb.
got like 10 or 15 more after that. And I was like, oh my God. And so I was just, and
Well,
people were
and
like, well, I thought
Sean Ross Sapp was live tweeting because the way that I saw
yeah.
that you had got a question,
Mhm.
because I
Yeah.
didn't even look in our Slack to see that was hilarious. I
Yeah.
found out because Sean Ross Sapp was live tweeting the thingy, and I had jumped on, and his thing was just at the top of my timeline.
Yeah.
And I saw your name, and I was like, oh, yay. And then
Yeah.
I heard what your question was, and then even
And of course, it got taken out of
Dave
context on Twitter
and Dave
again.
Meltzer didn't get a question, and you did. So Paul was
There
like,
we go.
"Sim bump Dave Meltzer." He's like rooting
Great.
for Fight Game Media. It was so cute.
That's
Oh,
so
it was
great.
great. I was loving it.
Yeah, I
Loving every
wasn't
minute.
sure. And I was just, so I'm just typing out whatever the answer was. And they're like, because they'll say, okay, the next person's going to be so and so. And then they'll say, like, so they tell you the next two people, like, just so you can be prepared.
Mhm.
And so and I heard my name and I was like, oh my God, I'm out of time out. and then like my editor at SC Scoops was on the call too. And he was like, well, at least one of us got to ask a question.
That's awesome too, because it's Revolution Week, so the like trolls are on like high alert right now for it's good because it also elevates like people realize, like other people realize that what you're doing, and people actually ask you, and then
there were a couple people. They were like, "Why they're like, why don't you do WWE? It looks a little lopsided." And I was like, "I did for a year, and then I couldn't stand it anymore." And I was like, "I don't regularly watch, so I'm not gonna watch something I don't like just because I did that already
on their shows in general, let alone women's matches."
Yeah.
There's very little wrestling matches that go on during W. I'm sorry, I've been watching Raw now for 2 months.
Yeah.
I've watched every single Raw, and I've watched all fucking 3 hours. All 3 hours.
Bless you.
and it's just not good, guys. I'm really sorry. It's not good TV. It's a lot of filler. It's a lot of shenanigans. Mm-hmm. There's maybe a match on there or two. Like, there's no matches to time.
When I've like
there's
tuned in
5
for
matches on all of the, like, I don't watch NXT. All just like cards on the table. I do not watch NXT. I watch Raw and SmackDown.
Which is interesting because NXT apparently they apparently book the women better in NXT now. But
I hear that.
That's what I've heard.
I can't bring myself.
No, I know. I'm with you. I don't watch it either.
It's like Monday is Raw, Tuesday is MLW for now.
I'm so sad about that. I'm sad we've only got like 6 weeks left. I was like, what the hell? Now you're making me invested, and you're gonna pull it away from
it. They shot themselves in the foot with that one, from everything that like Meltzer's reporting on that was, and from what he said on Observer Live, is like he basically was like the one hand didn't know what the other hand was doing, because they pumped a lot of money into promoting MLW and then made this deal when there was an obvious conflict of interest, if anyone who knew anything about anything would have seen.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Just so stupid.
I hate that for MLW, because they're finally, and there's obviously competition is good for everyone.
Right.
They're putting a spotlight. Yeah, there are some people that we know, because obviously, Johnny Bloodsport Hennigan is over there now. He just won a title. So I have Valkyrie's on there. So there are people over there that, have name recognition, but there's a lot of people there that are getting spotlighted that don't get, like, I can't tell you, I've heard Alex Hammerstone's name for a really long time, and I just would not go out of which is my, there's so much going on, and I know I could go find MLW if I wanted to, if I took the time, but so I've never really seen him. I've there's Alex Kane, there's all these, there's I've seen Mance obviously in GCW and things like that, But like, so there's people getting spotlight on national TV. Yeah, maybe it's smaller and it's not in a whole bunch of homes, but that's in a lot more homes than other wrestling companies
doing
are.
good numbers though.
Yeah,
for the
it's
first few weeks, it's actually done 5 figures, and it was competing. Like even Mike Gilbert was making the point that Impact wishes it could sniff that number some weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
I was like,
that.
okay, even well, I gotta put this out there because it made me happy. Mike did want to actually make Mike is the official. He will be the Fight Game media official. Call out our enemies. Man, I love it. And one of the things he wanted to make was in video that was MLW gets Peacock blocked by WWE.
Oh my.
And you know what? It's so brilliant. It deserves some airtime somewhere.
It does. I'm hoping I wish somebody would pick them up because it's entertaining. It's an hour. It's fast paced. You don't have to like.
Well, and there was clearly engagement.
My biggest complaint is there's too many commercial breaks, but that's just reels. That's how they do everything. It's just
they're a new station too.
It's constant commercial breaks. Like, so that's my biggest pet peeve with it. But I mean, it's really not that. I mean, it's not that bad. It's an hour. If they tell stories. I enjoyed that they feature Mance Warner a lot. And I was like, thank God it's more Mance and less Enzo.
Well, and what's great about it is that the social media engagement portion of it that we've been doing makes it's like so you can talk during the commercials and you can chit chat about what's going on.
That's very true.
I even got I was just chit chatting and like retweeting because I like Mance a lot because I've seen him a couple times now, and I retweeted it and he liked one of my things and it was really cool, and it's like so I think that there was clearly there is interest there. I mean, I'm gonna watch for the next few. It's just such a you guys are dumb.
I hope within that. I don't know if they'll have anything if they'll have somewhere to move it in 6 weeks. I know that they air on something else, like a different platform.
I think it's on the Fire Stick and the Roku and the you're talking about there's a couple of weird things in there. But
I mean, I would rather than be on TV because I think they should be, and like you said, it gives people spotlights, gives people competition. Pro Wrestling TV is what it's called. Thank you, Brad. I knew it was. I was wanting to say something else.
Thank
I was
you, loyal, wonderful people who are out there listening.
So I hope I don't know if they'll have a new TV deal in 6 weeks. I don't know. I mean, I hate that even the Tubi thing fell through for them. I've never used Tubi before, but I mean that would have been a platform.
It's an app on my. It's an auto app on my TV. So it's preloaded on my Samsung. So
I think I don't know if it's preloaded on mine, but I mean, it's not like I think
I'm a Droid user though. So Apple likes more exclusivity.
Yes, of course. But I mean, I have a Roku TV in my room, so I think there's stuff. But I mean, I could just download it. It takes 2 seconds. But I hope they find some sort of a TV deal because it's fun, and they've been. Sounds like they've been screwed by WWE a lot. And they can't seem to catch a break
there.
No, they can't. And it just seems like every time they get started, something happens. And so hopefully they figure it out because it's entertaining.
Carney dickbags.
Oh God.
Anyway, let's move on because you saw some real quick. Dynamite's coming back to the Motor City, baby.
Oh, nice.
I picked up tickets on pre-sale on Thursday, so Bob and I will be back at the LCA on May 10th to see Dynamite Rampage, and pretty excited. I picked totally different seats this time because as great as it was to be close to the ring, when you're on the floor and you're as short as I am.
Same. I have that problem. Yep. I have the same problem. I know exactly.
I was literally looking up. I was actually the match is in front of me and I could see the performers.
You're having to watch
up at the video screen where unlike
then your neck hurt because you're sitting like this the whole time. Yeah.
But unlike in Chicago where they don't know how to remove the shit from around their Jumbotron. Us here in Detroit, we actually immediately pull that cloth up and it's like, look up here because we have free offers and good deals for you, even in the lobby. QR code me, baby. But so I'm excited because it's kind of a different spot. It's over by the on a recommendation from John Hughes. Actually, he was talking about he sat over by the ramp the last time he was, and he was like, so I was like, all right, let's. And I've never sat on that side of the arena at all.
Yeah, that'll be
for
a fun
anything.
Experience.
So we just were like that, and also if you want to be like dead on, so, and even this a few rows back, the front row seats were going to be $1,200 a piece.
Good Lord.
And the first like upper deck section in the front row were $1,000 a piece.
Oh my God.
So I was like, as a friend said to me, is Jesus Christ himself showing up on the card? And so I did not opt for the 1,000.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm not even opt. I would not.
You know, I'm not willing to commit like almost like 9/10 of my mortgage payment to one seat at a Dynamite show. Dynamic ticketing can suck my genitalia. And it's stupid. I hate it.
Yeah, I saw somebody else the other day. They were talking.
It didn't even sell out like it did the last time.
Oh, so I wonder why.
Probably hurt them that they did that because those tickets flew when they came for the first time.
Yeah,
and it wasn't blood and guts when it was just a Dynamite.
Yeah.
They did not fly this time. I decided to do the $2 tier of WrestleTix because I'm nerding out on that stuff right now, and it's worth it. And you get the pre-sale codes, which are totally worth it. But I was looking at it, and it's like these tickets did not like fly away like they did the last time.
Yeah, and I feel like I saw that for another show recently, and they were like, somebody screenshot, and they were like, "What the hell is this?" And it was like really high, ridiculous prices, and I was like,
"Terrible! It's terrible." I mean, just like. I'm like 3,200 before fees.
That's absurd. And like that's part of the reason like I quit going to concerts so much was because I love like going to live I love doing that stuff. But you get priced out of it just for everything, especially because they do that stupid demand, like the prices increase.
Yeah, it's called dynamic pricing.
Yeah, that I hate
That's
it.
why
yeah, and so that's
the same kind of it's a similar algorithm to what like the travel industry and people like that use, where it's like as soon as you search for a flight, like that's why the trick is search on a private tab.
Yep, that's what I do
because it can't tell you it can't immediately start because what they do is and even one of the things I noticed Amazon's doing it now. If you put something on your wish list or in your cart, but don't buy it right away, the price can change on it before you purchase it. So. Screw you, corporate America.
Screw you, capitalism.
Both of those things. See? Sam and me. We were meant to be together. So
we were.
All right. You saw some indie wrestling.
I did see some indie wrestling. So Friday night, I went to Patriotic Wrestling Federation, I think is what it stands for. It's PWF. They run in South Carolina a lot, but I wasn't thinking about it until they made they apparently only run in North Carolina once a year. And it's like 10 minutes from my house. So we're like, well, we went last year, and then it was around the same time last year. And then at the end of the show, they're like, see you next year. And I was like, oh, they really are not. They're really just coming here once a year. All right. But
okie dokie then.
Yeah. So I mean, it was like $12, and we got to see Suicide was on the card, which I forgot. I need to tag Mike and JD in the picture so they can see. So I got to see Suicide. Lodi was there. Lodi's like one of their main people, which is really interesting because I didn't know that Lodi was for the children. A bunch of children got up and were running and following him around the entire gym because it was like at a rec center.
That's fun.
Like, but then I was like, I hope Nikki made the point. She's like, I hope there's not somebody with sensory issues in here, because he was like, what I do, because he comes out and he has a bunch of different handwritten signs. Like I didn't get the picture because he put the sign down before I could, but it was something about the flock. But I did get a picture of him holding the sign that said something like, add space for rent, inquire, or something like, I don't know. It was something like that. It was really funny.
Inquire within your
something like that. And so he was
my
like,
Facebook well, bio literally says this space for lease.
Yeah. And so it's basically that. And so, he gets in the ring and he was like, well, what I do at every show is whoever is the loudest gets a sign. there was a whole lot of children in that room, and it was in a
Oh,
gymnasium.
screaming children.
And it was
I
echoing, and I was like, Lodi, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, and that's when Nikki was like, I hope there's nobody with sensory issues in here because it is so loud. And so, and those kids got loud like throughout the night. Like, and then apparently, like, I guess it was supposed to storm Friday night. So I don't know if people were leaving because, like, I was getting alerts on my phone about the storm. So I don't know if people were leaving because of the storm or if they just came to see Lodi and then left because a whole bunch of people left after Lodi's match. There was still 2 matches on the card. And I was like, I didn't know Lodi was such a draw in 2023.
There you go. I mean,
apparently,
well, you've got you are a territory area, though.
Yeah, we
like,
are a
so
probably.
Yeah, it
was like
a lot of,
it was
like
like
I
Thunder
feel
Thursday
like if
up in
somebody
there.
like, I mean, they're not alive anymore, but I feel like if somebody like Dick the Bruiser or somebody came out of retirement,
kids are watching Flock era WCW. Apparently so. Apparently in the Carolinas, this is. Because I've seen Lodi a few times. Lodi he still works some local shows, and Lodi is a draw. Someone call TK. I mean, look, he already booked the Outrunners for ROH. He might book Lodi. Yeah, Lodi's still a draw in the Charlotte region.
That's fantastic. I'm glad you were there for that just because of that.
Yeah, I've seen Lodi a couple of times just because I'm in the area. So he's been on a couple of local things like that. But yeah, and he was on the show last year, but I didn't remember him being for the kids last year, but this year, Lodi's for the kids in 2023.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to think. So Marcus Cross was on the card. Marcus has been, if you watch the AEW YouTube shows, you've seen Marcus before. Actually, I think he's done I think he was in a TV squash match as well. But I enjoy him. He's their champion. Caleb Conley, formerly known as Caleb with a K, had a match too. So that was the main reason we went, because we went to see Caleb, because we don't get to see him as much anymore. Buddy said Riggs is coming in next month to bring in the youth demo. I mean, why not?
You are correct, Don.
Why not?
If it still works, book it.
Yeah, that's apparently the philosophy.
If the last few years have taught us nothing else.
Yeah. Listen, if Mike Johnson still's getting booked at 73 in Impact, but listen, I want GCW the next time they come to Charlotte, I want them to book him. And apparently there was a match last night. I think it was where was it? Tennessee? I can't remember now, but it was George South versus Mike Johnson. And I was like, what is happening? Because I saw a tweet. They're like, I hope you enjoyed your MMA fight. I got to see 73-year-old Mike Johnson versus 60-year-old George South. It's like, man,
George South.
He is a character.
I'm so glad I was introduced to George South by a friend, because
that man,
Carney,
that man is a legend in this area for sure, and he's trained a lot of people in this area. He trained Caleb, actually.
Yes, exactly right. This is why. This is what Don says. George South.
Oh my God,
tier Carney.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm talking about.
100%. 100%. Like, and he's like, I never thought I would see him in GCW, and I've seen him in GCW twice. And both of the GCW shows I've been to have had George South.
The last 2 times he's like ended up on their like late announcement.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw him in January, he was in a match with Revolt, SGC, Lucky Ali, and Bojack, and then his tag team partner was John Wayne Murdoch. Who is the deathmatch wrestler?
I gotta come visit you sometime when there's
please
shows coming. Just because it would be fun to like wander around like the Carolinas and just. I mean, I have obviously been to all the touristy stuff along the coast and everything, because my sister and I drove down there. It's drivable, like the whole down the southeast southeast coast and stuff. But it'd be fun to come see indie wrestling with you. I mean, obviously, it would be fun to watch indie wrestling together.
Sure,
I watch any wrestling together. We were talking about it, but
yeah,
it'd be some kind of fun.
Yes, it would. Brad says that George South and Action Mike Jackson were part of a scramble match on an indie show last night, and they were going at it hard. Yeah, I saw some references to it, and I was like, you know what? Good for them.
There's so much.
If you can still go, do it.
It's get paid, as our good friend
For
Jeff
real.
Hawkins likes to
Yeah.
say.
Yes.
You were
Get paid.
excellent on the Dynamite show, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
really
I did not
enjoyed
shout
it.
out to those guys, for their 2-year anniversary, and secondly for letting me stay because I was the only guest who
You
had
were the
watched
only
show.
guest.
and then Dave didn't show up, so I was gonna get bumped. So I bumped. So
You bumped
apparently.
Dave twice this week.
Oh my god, I'm gonna tweet that later.
You know what? This is it. This is your revenge for not getting a single vote in the.
That is true. Me and my Mike did not get a vote for feud of the year, and so I bumped
not
him
one
twice,
single vote.
But that's what he gets. Oh my god, I made the joke Friday night. The poor ring announcer, her mic kept going out, and I was like, "Girl, I know how you feel. The mics they try you while you're trying to do your job." And Nikki was like, "I hope it doesn't find a bat." Luckily, it did not.
That's your gimmick, and that's trademark.
Yes, that is my gimmick. I'm gonna trademark that gimmick. Damn it, it's mine. But yeah, so the first show was fun. We had a good time seeing that show, and then last night was a Title Belt second show. So the first show was back in January. Unfortunately, Ethan Case was injured on that show. So last night's show was benefiting him. 100% of the proceeds went to him. I'd love to see, I have no idea how much was raised for him, but there was, I think there were more people there last night than they were for the first show. And a large part of that was due in part to Ethan. I got to see people last night that I haven't seen in months, and I was gonna be like, oh, since last year, but it's only March. But it lasts at more than 6 months ago. There's a funny conversation going on in our comments, so put that on hold. So Don says, I'd love a tournament of all wrestlers over 60. Brad says, Don, are you trying to kill people? That's how you kill people.
It depends on who gets in, because if we start pulling in people from Japan and Mexico,
true,
that could, oh my god, it'd be like a senior pro-am, on the golf tours. They have those senior pro-ams. It'd be the same thing. We can have a wrestling, we can call it the John LaRocca senior pro-am tournament.
John LaRocca's like, how am I getting into this?
Well,
Don says, is it Fuki? I don't want to pronounce that last name wrong. I think he said he would cheat everyone into the grave. Book it.
I bet it would get more buys than Power Slaps pay-per-view.
Well, it should. I would subscribe to that.
I'm into this. We are full of excellent ideas.
Every week we give you guys some fabulous idea. I need to start writing them down in a book so that we have them. I mean, they're all here in the video, but but we should start writing them down. But yeah, so Title Belt. So Ethan was there, so it was nice to see him. Obviously we haven't seen him then there. He is having to use the help of a cane to help him a little bit. They're still trying to figure out exactly what's going on with him. It's going to be a long road ahead for him. So he definitely has the GoFundMe, which I'll post the link. I posted the link yesterday on my own Twitter, but I'll post it again to our pages.
Yes, please. I saw
just
it.
So we have that. And then, so last night it was really great. There was a lot of people who came from the who were in the PWX scene who haven't been around as much for whatever reason. And they came out to support Ethan, which was really cool to see. And I knew, I was going with some of my friends, so I was already expecting that, and I was like, oh, we'll probably see some people, there, but I just didn't expect to see just some of the people that I saw, and I didn't realize how much I missed it and how much I needed that until I was in it, and I was like, man, I needed this a lot more than I thought. This is so, and I'm sure Ethan did too, but it was nice. So Ethan came out and he talked for a minute, got a little choked up, obviously, just at the everything happening, basically for him, and so it was really cool to be able to. It was really great to see the community come together like that for him. And so it was a great show. There's so many good matches last night. I didn't write down. I probably could go to my Twitter timeline. Well, no, actually I didn't tweet about it last night. I took photos, which I will get around to. I'm not going to wait this long. I'm not going to wait as long as last time to post photos. Cause last time I was like, well, there was an injury, and I was like, well, I don't want to post photos now. It feels a little weird. Somebody was injured, and I don't want to. And then I kept putting it off, and then I would forget. And I was like, so yesterday I was cramming all these pictures from 6 weeks ago So I was like, I gotta get these up. But let's see who was on that card. Lucky Ali was on that card. Oh, Lucky.
Workhorseman
So
run.
Lucky was in the main event against Sean Legacy, and during the match, Lucky comes over and wipes his sweaty face on the bottom of my shirt. Like I didn't know he was coming, and all of a sudden he just grabs the bottom of my shirt and then he wiped his face on it, and I'm like, and on top of that, I was wearing a Luke Perry shirt because yesterday was the 4-year anniversary of his death. So I was like, I'm gonna wear. And I was like, how disrespectful to Luke Perry. And Nikki was like, Luke Perry probably would have loved that. And I was like, this is true. He probably would.
I hope Garrett doesn't hear this.
I know. I meant to I gotta send a picture of Garrett so he can see my Luke Perry.
Actually, he might appreciate that story because yeah.
But yeah, so there was that. But him and Sean Legacy, God, they tore it down. I don't know when Sean Legacy won something. Justin Kniper probably knows because I actually saw it from him because he retweeted it. I guess back early, I think it's early January, he won something, and Sean Legacy is supposed to be going over to Noah to do some sort of thing with them. I don't know how long he'll be there or when he goes, but he's definitely like he's always been like good, but he's definitely like picked up his game, and then last night, like at the end, he was like thanking all the fans for coming, and it was it reminded me of Okada. How Okada's very much into, oh, thank you for coming, thank you for spending your
humblest
money
dude
with us
on the planet, even though he's like the greatest wrestler
right
ever.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely had some Okada vibes from him last night as far as
nice.
Like his character. But yeah, that was great. Oh my God, there was a Mad Dog Mayhem match, which Mad Dog is Josh Powers, and he's been doing some Mayhem matches for the last couple of years. They're basically hardcore matches, and there's like no rules. This match was out of control last night, and he wrestled Cruel, who, if you in MLW may know him as Mads Kruger, but that was insane. That was like one of the most intense matches I've ever seen. And there was like, I'll have to definitely post pictures of that. But unfortunately, Josh Powers, they ended up having to call the match early because a trash can came back and hit Josh in the hand and sliced him really bad. And the bleeding just kept getting worse. I mean, it was later in the match, and he tried to keep going. He used a cheese grater and put it on Cruel's chest, and Cruel's chest just starts blood just starts pouring from his chest. I was like, oh my God, yes, Don. There were blood and guts. Luckily, no women were bleeding, so hopefully nobody gets mad on the internet, hopefully, because it was not women bleeding. It was it was dudes, so it's okay. But it was a really crazy match, and they ended it as a no contest, which I don't think. I was talking to a friend last night. I don't think Mad Dog has ever lost a Mad Dog Mayhem match. So I'm glad he has kept his record intact. What else did we see? We saw, so it was supposed to be the Workhorsemen versus the Flex. And the Flex, I've mentioned a few times, they're a fairly young team. They trained at Ethan's school. D'Angelo, when I saw him in December, it was only his second match ever. And so he's at like 6 now. And I've seen half of his matches.
Nice.
And so it was supposed to be them versus the Workhorsemen. AEW decided they needed JD Drake's excellent, because JD Drake, if you don't know, is a very good bowler. Like if he wanted to quit wrestling and like bowl be a semi-pro bowler, James Drake could do that. So they're
pulling things. So they're pulling people off indie events everywhere.
So he got pulled.
Hey, what the hell?
But you know what? In James' defense, he got paid to go. They flew him to San Francisco and paid him to bowl. So like, I can't be mad at that.
Yeah, fair.
It's like, good for him. And I don't know if he was on the Wingman's team. I think he must have been, because I saw he shared a video on his Insta story from Ryan Nemeth, and he told Ryan Nemeth that he hated him. And then he told him that they were talking about bowling things. He's like, did you figure out what to do? So I think they were on the same team, but I don't know. But so they let Anthony, I guess because he doesn't bowl, they let us keep Anthony Henry for last night. So he ended up teaming with Drew Adler against the Flex. And oh my God, Anthony Henry spent almost the entire match just beating the hell out of Xavier. Like just yeah, I mean, obviously, if you've seen Anthony Henry's matches, you know what he does. He kicks very hard. He chops. Well, D'Angelo made the mistake before the match started. He said, "I'm glad James Drake isn't here, so I don't get chopped." Well, Anthony took offense to that. And Anthony just, but I don't know that D'Angelo ever got chopped. I know Xavier got chopped a lot. It was definitely Chop City bitch because there was a lot of it. And he just, and so the fans, it was funny. The fans would not like get on the baby face side, like, because it's Anthony, and we've watched Anthony Henry for years, and so nobody was booing him. And then he started to flip off the crowd, and that's finally what started turning some of them.
He finally got to you guys.
Oh god, it was great though. But like, he just beat that. I was like, damn. I was like, did Xavier piss somebody off backstage? What? And he was like, no, I had to. And so I was talking to Anthony afterwards, and he was like, he's like, have you seen my matches? And I was like, yes. That's why you're one of my favorites. Yes. And he's like, well, he was like, basically, he was like, they have to learn they're young and they're paying their dues. Nikki said murder happened. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a couple times Xavier's soul left his body.
Yeah. Yikes.
Don said, I'd love to seduce Tony Khan so I could jilt him at the altar. I'd send him a tweet telling him I was double booked, and then I'd be marrying Takati Kadani that day.
Takaki Kadani that day and said, oh, yeah, so you could pull yourself off of an AEW event. Totally. Yeah. There's a lot of, some of us actually give a crap about the fact that they keep pulling talent off of indie
the only thing I hate about this one is because it was a charity show.
I know.
for Ethan. I mean, they did pull him for a charity bowling thing, but it was a charity show for Ethan, somebody he's known for like 20 years.
Right.
Obviously, Ethan gets it. He's been in the business a lot. Like, you can't help that stuff. And so that was the only thing I was like, I kind of hate that, but you know, it is what it is. But
Tony Khan's turning into a carny.
Turning. He's just letting it. He's just showing it now.
You know, actually, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Because one of the things that I've noticed over the last few years with the Jacksonville Jaguars is a lot of the things that they've handled, like they've handled in the public and in the media and stuff. I was like, he is like channeling his promoter now. He like straight up, like that BS where he was sitting in the one of the draft rooms and had the all out card written down, or whatever crap.
Right.
That I was like, he has completely, he's gone completely, like he's full carny now. He's whatever Super Saiyan carny. He's like whatever his first level is.
Don says, either don't let your talent do the indies or let them honor their bookings. I would prefer the latter, because I would like to, because workhorsemen don't get on TV often, and so sometimes the only time I get to see them is when they do indie shows. I mean, they've been booked more often lately, and I'm hoping they're going to be in the Ring of Honor tag team division. I'm hoping that's going to be, but until then, I would like to see them.
And it was for charity too. Like, I mean, it wasn't like he was being, you know, this was like a big show or whatever, and he went to do charity show. He was already on a charity show, and then they brought him out to a big charity show. This is a celebrity charity show, whereas this isn't.
Yeah.
What was going on for Ethan was not some big celebrity thing.
Well, no, and it wasn't. And like I said,
thing.
Yeah, it was a community thing.
And they kind of
workhorsemen were they were on top of that, they were in the match that it happened in, where Ethan's injury happened was in the match with them. Obviously things go wrong. It wasn't, I mean, things happen. And so I'm sure he probably wanted to be there because of that. And again, like I said, they've known each other for like 20 years or something like that, or something close to it. They've been on a lot of shows together. And so, yeah, it just, I mean, it
stinks because I don't like it. What Tony is doing the last several months with this stuff, with Scrappermania, with a couple of other incidents where this has now happened.
I know another one. And like you said, people are getting pulled off at indie shows.
And it's people that were like not being booked on the shows until like Trish Adora got pulled off of something to come do a house show. And it's like, you don't feature her.
You did. Well, no, she got pulled. She did ROH. She recorded. She filmed an ROH match.
Thank God.
That will air. I don't know if it's next week's show or if it's the show, like it's in the first set of shows, but she did film a match. But it was interesting because they filmed some people they pulled off of Saturday shows and their matches weren't till Sunday, but I guess they pulled them so that they wouldn't get injured. Like it was less likely of an injury, like that if they got injured on Saturday night and then couldn't wrestle for ROH on Sunday. So like I get that. And then actually I think now that we're talking about it, I'm pretty sure that I saw Alexander Moss's name on the ROH, like all those matches they filmed. And Alexander Moss is somebody I've watched wrestle here for a few years. He wrestled on last night's card. So I got to see him. He's a heel now, and he's been a babyface the entire time I've seen him. And so he was a heel at DPW too. And I was like, I am not used to this. And I think I tweeted it, and he was basically like, oh, well, you're going to have to get used to it. I was like,
hey, new things are good.
They are good. It's just going to take me a while. Cause I was like cheering him, and I was like, oh yeah, he's a heel now. I forgot. But then, yeah, and I got to see Movie Mike is somebody I used to watch on Pure shows here. And I haven't seen Movie Mike in probably a couple years. And so he was in the match last night. And so was White Mike, who I have not seen in a while either. White Mike is really he's done indie shows in other places, but he was PWX for a really long time, and then I didn't see him for a while. So it was cool to see him back. He is still super over. He came out last night. He came out to the Full House theme song. And then he was like, it was great because he's like, okay, he's like, I did my entrance. He's like, that's it, I'm leaving now. He was like, that was where I peaked.
That's too much.
Yeah, but it was a really good show. It was like 6 matches. We had it was a lot of fun. It was great to be out there to support Ethan. The next show is gonna be April 1st, which obviously is night 1 of WrestleMania. And I was like, okay. And so I asked and I was like, oh, we're running up against Mania. I was like, I mean, I can skip Mania. Like, I don't. Right, I'll be fine if I skip it. And then they were like, well, they didn't announce the times. I don't know if they're going to do like an earlier show so people can go home and watch Mania. But then I was like, but I'm pretty sure Big Gate. Oh, Nikki said she thought it was Family Matters. Was that Family Matters? You know what? I think you're right, Nikki.
Either way, it's hilarious. But it was funnier.
Great. Yes, it was Family Matters. Now Nikki's correct, but yes, it was great. But I believe Effie's Big Gay Brunch is Saturday morning. So I was like, all right. I was like, now you might rework my Saturday. And I was like, so we'll see. I'm sure we'll go. I'll figure out a way. I don't know what we'll find out what the next show will be benefiting, because of each show benefits a local nonprofit or person. So we'll see how that does. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Oh, I did talk to Adam. He said they did film the first show. They're still going through the footage. They had some people there filming last night as well. So at some point they are planning to get both shows up on YouTube.
And get going.
And I think cool. At some point they are still going to try to live stream. They're still trying to figure things out. And I'm sure with the next show running up against Mania, I don't know that they'll be ready to do that yet. That might be something that comes later, but they are working on a YouTube. Getting those
but getting matches up will be good enough to start.
So Brad said he's very happy to hear that. Yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, some of our viewers that saw your interview want to know how they can see the shows, and he was like, no, we're still working on it. So hopefully that will come.
Well, they've got they've got a little group of people that are waiting for them. So they'll have like a whole like pre-sale audience situation.
Definitely.
We better preview this show before we run into it.
I know. Thanks for sticking with us this long. We promise we'll talk about Revolution.
We still have, guys. You still have to hang out. Yeah,
you still have to hang out for that announcement.
Major announcement.
We do have a major announcement. Let me pull up my notes here for this card. So I checked Twitter earlier, and I checked before we came on air. As far as I know, unless they've announced anything in the last hour or so, there's still only one match for 0 Hour.
Yeah, I have a card up.
Nikki, before we get into that, Nikki pointed out that she said she couldn't see what he did, but Lucky got near Ethan's oldest daughter and she yelled, "Don't touch me." And Lucky's reaction was great. Yeah, it was so funny. She was very anti-Lucky and she's a very big Shawn Legacy fan. And so he knew it and was just messing with her. Like, he would mock her because she would be like, "Let's go Legacy." And he was like doing a high-pitched voice mocking her. But yeah, he went over there to do something. I can't remember now what he did, but she just yelled, "Don't touch me." And he was not prepared for that reaction. It was so great. I was like, good for you. Know your boundaries. But then he ended up going back over there later. Oh, he went, Doug, who, Doug is a friend of mine who's been on the show before. Doug is
friend in a wheelchair. Of the show, Doug.
If you saw GCW, what is it? Don't Talk to Me. There, the show that we went to in January. You saw the incident with him and Charles Mason. So Lucky went and sat and hit like on him in his chair during the match. He sat on another fan in a wheelchair as well. So Lucky was just he was all over the place last night, and then he was messing with Ethan's poor daughter, just giving her a hard time. But yeah, so we can go back into this card. But yes, so 0 Hour has one whole match.
I think it has two, actually.
Does it have a second one now?
Wait, I just had it again and then moved it again because I'm a dork. But here it is. So according to this Bleacher Report thing that I have up here, we've got the fancy Mark Briscoe and the Lucha Brothers versus Ari Daivari and the Varsity Athletes. Yeah. Also, it says Blackpool Combat Club. So
I knew it. I knew they were going to add it.
Claudio and Wheeler versus Dark Order, John Silver, Alex
Audit. If you read my preview of the card,
you need to listen,
and
folks.
if you also read if you read my Rampage article on Friday, I called that and said that they were probably setting up this match for the pre-show. So you're welcome.
There we go, Sam. See, you are exactly as good at this as we always knew you were.
Of course. So maybe.
So there's two pre-show matches.
Right. So maybe they'll fuck around and put a women's match on there since there's only one women's match.
Now calm down, all right? Just calm down.
Sorry, I got to ask a question this week, and now I'm getting too excited about women's matches.
You're getting crazy here. It's ridiculous. God, don't get hysterical, Sam.
I'm gonna. But yeah, so those matches I think will be fun. I'm really interested in. I liked Mark Briscoe's thing about how it warmed his heart to see two brothers in the ring, and then it was the Lucha Brothers. So I thought that was a nice way to tie them into being in that match. So I think that'll be fun. And then I'm really looking forward to Dark Order because they keep getting screwed out of stuff and they're pissed off, and obviously it's Claudio and Wheeler, and so that'll be a good one. Hopefully they'll let Jade have a match. I don't know. Maybe she can defend her title.
Jade.
Maybe Jade can defend her title. I don't know. Maybe they just put maybe they just do a random women's 4-way match. I don't know if that's allowed though. I don't think it is.
We'll see, I guess. So, okay. What's
all right?
What else is on the card? Let's see.
All right, we'll go to the main card. Just pick a picture and we'll talk about it.
All right.
So we're being fancy and actually using the pictures that I have access to.
Hang on, I'm just gonna see which picture pops up first. Okay. Which one's this one? Oh, that was what we were just talking about.
That was my prediction on. I think I mentioned it last week, but that was also my prediction on the Dynamite show. But if Fightful is to be believed, she is not cleared. She is there today doing autograph signings with Adam Cole. If you buy a ticket, you can meet them. I saw that they were doing that today. But if Fightful is to be believed,
be special crap on the show, right? So
as long as it's not bloody, exactly. We can't have bloody women's matches. That's not allowed.
I moved
How
around.
Dare you?
Don't mind me.
How very dare them. But yeah, I would love to see that. That was my prediction. Was that's how they were going to do it. And then, but yeah, maybe they're just saying that because they don't want to spoil anything for Revolution, but usually Fightful will not. I mean, and she keeps saying on Twitter, like, I'm not cleared, but she could just be saying that so she could show up tonight. But I'm under the impression that she is there because she's doing the autograph signing. So I guess it is possible that she comes tonight.
TBD.
Yes. Fight
is what we'll call that.
Yes.
All
TBD.
Right, so,
with the rest of the card.
This is gonna be like a main event.
Woo, fun.
No, perfect. You know what? I think these uploaded in the right order. So
okay, yeah. We don't know the order of the card yet. So I
did that because like Sam just said, they never really tell you the order. So
yeah, and I was like, you know what? Let's use these graphics. And I'm glad these are the YouTube graphics and not the Instagram graphics because
I can't get us to pop over the side. So Garrett's
in the app they didn't tell me, like, it doesn't. Like, they had a whole bunch of them, and then I was like, these look bigger, so I'm gonna guess these are the YouTube ones. But then I went to when I was saving them, I'm like, all right, now I don't know for sure, but yes, I'm glad. Hopefully, I uploaded all the correct ones, but we'll just see how it goes. But
and I've got the Bleacher Report card here, so they're the ones that are showing the thing. Theory.
So this is an interesting one.
It's a final bid. They renamed it to the Final Burial match here,
after the promo on Revolution. So if you didn't watch Revolution on Friday,
Rampage.
That must have been, thank you, Brad. That must have been what just got sent to the group chat. The DPW just announced the Workhorsemen versus Violence is Forever. Don't fucking pull them, Tony. It's officially signed for March 26th for the tag team titles. Finally. So Workhorsemen have been in the DPW title picture basically as long as DPW has been around. Nikki says, Nikki confirmed that was the text message that was just sent to the group chat because she's in the group chat.
That's too funny.
Please don't pull Workhorsemen. Let this match happen because they look. I like Violence is Forever. They are great. Oh my god, and it's in the steel cage.
We made nice.
Listen,
we made enough of a ruckus about Scrapper Mania that Dave and Brian actually had to talk about it on Observer Radio. So
Good.
I feel like, you know, we made a dent somewhere in the larger picture of our tiny little niche bubble here that we live and love in.
Good. Yeah, man, is that did they announce is that a Raleigh show?
You're just asking everybody.
I'm just asking because my car is old and I can't drive it.
See, no one wants to talk about the final burial of Christian
we
Cage.
Do. I'm gonna talk about
that.
I'm gonna bury this match for a minute so I can talk about the Workhorsemen. Well, maybe if Tony would book them, then I wouldn't have to do this. But if you're not going to book them, let them have this damn match in the cage and let them get the tag team titles. Oh, it's in Durham. Damn it. Oh, that's right. We did know that. And
you guys are so cute.
My car
is Nikki. Thank you
y'all are
much.
the best. Yeah, I don't think my car is going to make it to Durham. It's old and having some issues again. So unless I get it fixed,
we need to
get
we need to get some super chat money so we can get you like a car rental or
yes,
something.
Give me some super chat money so Sam can fix our car.
No, you can just like rent one, just like drive.
Yeah, I could. That would probably be.
And then you wouldn't like have to worry because then it just like.
There we go. Okay. All right.
Anyway, well, keep moving on. Let's go.
I promise we'll get back to the Revolution stuff. So, so I thought this was. I did not put the. I didn't put the timing of this together until yesterday. So if you didn't watch Rampage, they showed more of the deck. So obviously Wednesday on Dynamite, we see the burial. Like he's, we thought maybe he was burying the Jungle Boy character, but that is not what was happening. So I guess this was a continuation of the promo from Wednesday night. They just showed it on Rampage, and Jack.
We should ask Salty Cow Palace Garrett.
Oh God,
he's my favorite. Keep going. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay, please do. But yeah, so Jack basically said, since you're such a big fan of my father, you can say hi to him when I bury you, or like or whatever it was. I was like, Jesus, Jack. Right. But then yesterday was the 4-year anniversary of his father's death. Today, he is wrestling Christian in what seems to be a buried alive match.
You know what? We all grieve differently.
Yeah, somebody tweeted and they were like, wrestling is definitely a different breed when you're like, let's talk about my dead dad and then we're gonna have a match. We're gonna keep talking about like
graveyards and funerals and
at first when we got this I was like, well, it was originally it was going to be a no holds barred match, but even before we got that I was like, is this a cinematic match? What are we like, what is happening here?
I am not here to judge someone in their grieving process. We all grieve differently.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, listen, if this is how it works for you and your family's cool with it.
Does this mean that Christian Cage is going away?
That's been what people have said. I have not heard anything that I haven't heard his contract is up. I haven't.
BUZZ.
Unless he is still dealing with his injury, maybe, or something like that.
Maybe he's going back to WWE and he's gonna wrestle.
I will be very mad if he goes back to WWE because they don't. Please don't do that. I don't watch that company. Don't do that. Yeah, I've heard some people think that Edge is gonna.
I mean, anytime anyone like is going from anywhere, it seems like everyone's like they're going to WWE, and I'm like, based on what? But
maybe ROH. Sure, maybe.
Yeah,
he could. He could.
Interesting thought.
But yeah, I have not heard that other than people speculating that that's why this is happening. I think this is just happening because they need to end this damn feud. because it's gone on too long.
Wait, you said it so perfectly. Folks that are subscribed to our the Dynamite Show, who are people who are subscribed to our Fight Game Media Plus Network Plus on the Patreon, $5 a month. Sam surmise, like, she put like this whole thing together. I loved what you said about it, and I just don't want to like rehash. I thought you summed it up perfectly. Even Paul and Jeff were like, yeah, and I was like, see, Sam knows what she's saying about these things.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
it's time. It's time.
Yeah, it's time. I'm fans of both of them. I really like them, but it is time for Jungle Boy to be the pillar that they want him to be, and they need. That's what it seemed like they were doing a few months ago, and then way too long, 100%. And so I'm just ready for this feud. So I'm thinking it's just. I mean, sure, it's possible Christian's leaving. I think this is just how they're ending the feud. And I mean, of course, they can pick it up again later because that's what they do. But I'm hoping what happens is that Jungle Boy wins this, and then this pushes him into a story with MJF, because it is time to revisit MJF versus Jungle Boy, because I've said before that I think this is going to be they're going to be people who are destined to fight each other all the time. Like for the next 10 to 15 years, it's going to be these two.
Well, I mean, this is their class. So yes. And I think Jack Perry has been held back a little bit. Like I think putting him in the tag team with Luchasaurus, like I think that was smart. I think giving them the titles, like I think that helped, but they held on to it a little too long. And then they were in the perfect position to push him when Christian and Luchasaurus are both out of the picture. And then they just didn't do anything, which is, we talked about, they did that with Wardlow. They did that with Powerhouse Hobbs. They did it with Jack as well. So they're coming back around to Hobbs right now, and I hope that they go somewhere with it. But I'm just
they're like we talked about on the Dynamite show, they've kind of booked themselves into a corner with both of them. Like you can't afford to have Wardlow lose, but can't really have Powerhouse lose next week. So I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I do think Samoa Joe will. Because we'll get to that match.
Yeah, we'll get to that match.
We'll get to that match. But
when the graphic comes up, you can give it.
Yes. So. But yeah, I hope they're doing. I mean, I think the match will be interesting. I don't know exactly what the burial. It sounds. I guess the final burial is. I guess that's a buried alive match. That's how I
either that or he'll cut the baddest ass promo on him that he's ever cut, and then Jack Perry will have to go walk away sad. He just got verbally freaking abused.
I'm hoping that
or vice versa.
I'm hoping Luchasaurus doesn't get involved in this. I hope it's just
those two of them, and it's nice, clean finish to this whole thing. Yep. We wrap it up, and they go their separate ways. And
then Jack is free to start a program with MJF.
And Christian is usable in so many ways.
Yeah. Christian.
I know great. Everyone loves maniacal. What is it? Maniacal turtleneck.
His English professor vibes that he
that the boys all love, and
Yeah, and I love Christian. I'm a huge fan of his, have been since back in the ENC days. Like, I love Christian, but I just don't love him in the story anymore.
Before we get to the next graphic, I'm going to fill you in. That was a little bit of a Discord reference. Is that Garrett has been, we on our Discord where we do the threads for the shows.
The super secret Discord.
Yeah, so super
the super secret Discord that we promote openly on our social media.
And give out Garrett's work email address to get onto it with, because that's so secret. So don't tell anybody. Conspiracies. One of these days I'm going to get a tinfoil hat. I promise. I will find one.
Please.
But one day I will have one. That's something that I need to get on my list. So what's been funny is that instead of running a modern venue, and who knows why, but instead of running a modern venue or an accessible venue or whatever, they're running in San Francisco in the Cow Palace, what's called the Chase Center now. And it's not run wrestling for eons and eons. And so it's very, the word dump has been used multiple times by,
oh no.
And so, but what is so cute is that it started on Wednesday during the thread, is that as the night was going on, Garrett was getting frustrated, and Garrett, is very reasonable. Garrett getting frustrated is like a puppy, being mad that they can't tear the box of tissues apart sometimes. But it was hilarious because he turned into Salty Garrett about being stuck in this old ass venue and these things were going on. So
no.
It was cute. It was adorable. And it was really funny. And he wasn't saying anything mean. He's like, it's not set up for this. And it's not doing
Well,
anything.
It's 2023 and it's not set up for that.
But it was really cute to see him be like grumpy old man about it. And then when we got to the Rampage thread, I actually just when they started it, I was like, "Are we gonna get salty How Palace Garrett tonight again?" And he was like, "Hell yeah!" And I'm like, "Yes!" So it's really fun though, because again, like he and some of the other members, Jeremy from over Speaking of Strong Style, those guys, it's in their home, it's in their backyard.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
They should have run San Jose. They would have made more money. There's still tickets available for this show.
And I saw,
and a lot of them.
This will be the first pay-per-view that hasn't sold out, right? I think so.
As far as I know. And I'm like, again, I got this WrestleTix thing this week, and I'm looking at it going, man, they messed up.
On the
this
media
is like
call,
a first-time venue. This is the first time you've been out there.
Right. And Tony was saying, like, on the media call, like, the Bay Area is a great market for them. They've always supported them. They've always done well there. But it sounds like they kind of misjudged arena-wise.
He wanted to do a historic...
Well, and I get it. Cow Palace is historic. Like, I totally get that. But then...
Sure, but it's historic, and it's historic, like... It hasn't run wrestling since 1979, like when I was
so then
born.
It's not up to date. So then
I was joking with Bob that it's a good thing that the old Olympia doesn't exist here, because I would be worried that Tony would try and run that.
Absolutely.
But fortunately, it's been completely redone now, and there's no possible way he could run some of the Dick the Bruiser or the Sheik's.
Are you sure there's no possible way? Because Tony seems like he'd find a way.
I mean... If he wants to run it in an empty parking lot next to Little Caesars Arena, there's plenty of those around.
He's gonna end up he's gonna put a house show there.
He's gonna pull all the talent off of our May 10th show to do a house show in the parking lot next door.
Yes.
We are salty about this. And we are not going to unsalt until you apologize.
And he's not.
We don't even know who's on Scrapper Mania yet. We still don't know who's.
Eddie Kingston is there. It's Eddie.
And an unnamed talent.
Yeah, because I think they want to surprise him. But yeah, Eddie Kingston, I know, is getting those two matches.
Like Wardlow or something over there. No offense, brother.
Wardlow's like, damn, what did I do? Catching strays.
It's not his. You know what though? But they killed his momentum. That's not
well, unless he gets it back whenever we pull it. This damn graphic needs to be next, so we can.
All right, let's go before we. All right. Otherwise, and we're still teasing a major announcement.
We are. Oh wait, you're skipping to this one. Okay, I'll wait.
I'm just going right in the way in here. What's this one? Nope, those are the two main events. We're not doing those. Here, let's do this one.
I was like, fine, we'll talk about this one. This and another match that
you know what? This one comes next, technically, on the Bleacher Report card. So.
I have had a feeling this is. I was like, this is going to go on the card early. I think.
So we'll go with this on the Bleacher Report situation. So this is the next one. So
another story that's kind of been a waste of time.
Give me your feels.
It doesn't need to be happening.
I want Ricky Starks to win this match. Same. I want Jericho to go. There's a Fozzy tour happening, so hopefully this.
Yeah, but if he does it like the last Fozzy tour, he does not do Wednesday dates so that he can be on Dynamite. That's what he did last year. And see, this is why. So there was the report that Jericho says that he's not going back to WWE. Ever.
Okay.
That he's gonna finish his career in AEW. Apparently WWE fans got big mad about this, and I'm like, well, if you really cared about Jericho, you would be watching him wherever he is. It's not that so. But I was like, why wouldn't my point for and sure, like a friend pointed out, wrestlers lie, which is true. But also, I think, Nikki and I were talking about this. I was like, why would he go back? Like, he is on commentary. He gets to be on TV pretty much every week. He's in major storylines. He gets to
pretty much do what he wants.
He can do his Jericho cruise and he can have talent for that. Like, he doesn't have to, like, because could you imagine if he was in WWE trying to do a WWE cruise with WWE talent? Like,
that never happened.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like he has that. He can go on tour on Fozzy, and apparently they can give him the schedule that he wants. So if he wants to, like, I think if he wanted time off to just be away from wrestling while he was touring, like Tony would let him do that, but he booked last year so that he was available on Wednesday nights if they needed him. He has that backstage title or whatever it is that he's got now. Like, he has all of these things. Like, why would he go put his body on the line for WWE 300 days a year when he can do all of these things in AEW? Like, it makes sense, especially at his age, because he's in his 50s. So, like, it would make, or it is he in his 50s or
he just turned 51?
Yeah,
he's like him. Yeah,
and so Brad says he pitched the cruise to WWE before he left, and they shot him down.
They shot him down according to his books, and I mean, and you take those as you take them. They are his books written by him, narrated by him on Audible, like
yeah.
But they are, I mean, somewhat insightful, because he does talk about the fact that, like, he's one of the few people that was able to talk Vince into doing any crossover stuff at all. It took him years to get that Dancing with the Stars thing.
Yeah,
they wanted him for way longer than it, and because Vince, he doesn't see it as a cross promotion thing. He sees it as like, somebody's gonna get some more of the, booty than me.
Yeah,
sorry, wrong word.
Yeah, definitely
ironic.
But yes, but yeah, like it is, and so. Yeah, I don't think Jericho's going anywhere. And so Jericho, I think, obviously we've talked about, he handpicked Action Andretti to beat him because he liked him. And so they are doing the story. He sees something. And even Tony made the reference. So he was like, Jericho sees something in Ricky. Like, he wants to work with him because he's great now. And we think that he can be even greater in the future. Like, he's had some really great moments. So, we wanted to put Ricky in a big spot. And I get that, yes, Jericho putting him against somebody like Jericho is big. But also, I don't think that this is doing anything it's not, I wouldn't say it's hurting Ricky Starks, but I don't think it's helping him in the way that they think it is.
Yeah.
I don't, and it's not really,
I hear that.
And I don't, especially when they have the stupid, like, he's beaten Jericho, and then they had the dumb JAS gauntlet crap, and then Jericho, like, costs him the win, and then they do an open challenge, and then he tricked him into not having JAS there. So I just... I hope Ricky wins, but I don't think Action will turn on him here since there's no JAS. I mean, I guess it's possible, but Action Andretti going to JAS doesn't make any sense, really. So I don't know what they're doing here. Maybe I hope it's just a clean match and Ricky Starks wins and moves on to something.
Me too. Me too. That's my feeling. I mean, I'm a big Ricky Starks in this one.
Yeah, I love Ricky Starks. I think
this
he's
is where I want. I wish they would. It's like sometimes he has those moments where he out promos MJF, and then the next week they've got him doing nothing, and it's
the same. Yeah, and that's what they keep doing.
Really
with the war.
He's like someone that I feel like if you let it ride with him, he seems like he's got something going on.
Right. Like, I don't think he should go to ROH because I think he needs to be in AEW. But he's somebody that if go to ROH, or if he was maybe in an Impact or something like that, like, you could build a show around him, and you should be building. At this point, we're 4 years in. It is time to start. I mean, you are doing that with MJF, but you've got to start pushing these other pillars. You've got to you got to do some stuff with him, and you got to stop using the same 4 women all the time.
They got the women's one. Nope. That's the World Tag Team Championship. That was actually the one I was shooting for. I got it right. That's cool.
Okay, all right. Well, we can talk about
that. Oh, are you ready for that?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Again, I'm kind of going by the thing that they've got on their little boop thing there. So here we go. The I don't know why this is happening.
Yeah, I don't know. This match is a mess.
I know a lot of people are really excited about this match. I'm sure it'll be really, really, really good.
It'll be fun. There's gonna be shenanigans, I'm sure.
It's Danhausen. I love Danhausen. It's the guns. You got Max, and just I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this match.
I felt originally when this was announced that they were doing the 2 certain battle royales, I assumed FTR was going to enter in one of them. It's still up in the air whether they're even coming back. Edge and Beth are making references to them. Obviously, they're good friends with them. They all four live in Asheville, and things like that. So it could just be kind of a tongue in cheek type of thing. Maybe they are going back to WWE, which with Vince there, I don't know why they would do that after what happened with them the last time, but whatever. I mean, get your money if that's what you want to do. Maybe they show up. I don't know. So it just feels like I still don't. So with FTR potentially coming back, I was like, okay, well then maybe that's why the Guns won, because they sort of had, the stuff with FTR and the Ass Boys that they were doing. So I was like, well, maybe that's why then FTR is going to come back and win the titles. That appears to not be what's happening now. So then they've got Triple J in it. Triple J is not for me. Just if you like it, that's cool. So I'm, good for you. Like what you like. It's just not really for me.
Yeah, I mean, I have friends who are very excited about it.
Yeah, and
it's just, and I'm totally excited for them. And I hope that this is what I would say about this match is, I hope that the people that are enjoying this get what they want out of it, because they are the people that are into this are very excited for it, and I want them to get their payoff.
Yeah, me too.
That's
and so I
would say it.
And I love Orange Cassidy and I love Danhausen. I don't know why they're in this match. when you have such a deep tag team division, they should be using, again, like we talked about it last week, Best Friends got screwed. The only thing I can think is that Chucky T is legitimately injured, and that's why they did the knee injury angle, and maybe that's legitimate
for you to say.
So maybe that's why they did this, but then like the Dark Order should have gone here, especially because they're trying to rebuild Dark Order. Especially if you're watching BTE, they're of course they're trying to figure out what they're doing because they've lost so many members. Hangman doesn't want to be, he turned them down. He doesn't want to be in it. They've tried to get the Bollywood Boys. They've tried recruiting Dalton Castle. They've tried recruiting so many people, and it's like just nothing is happening. Then obviously the stuff happened with Evil Uno and John Moxley, and they were a little like Stu Grayson was on Twitter and he was mad about it. I was like, I don't know if this means Stu Grayson's coming back. Somebody said they hope that meant for Josiah, who lives in Canada, was hoping that meant that meant Stu Grayson and John Moxley was going to happen up there at his local promotion. I was like, nice. It might. Brad says all four teams have stories with each other. I think Tony just didn't want to just announce the match and instead make it seem like other teams had a chance to be in it to grab attention from fans. Yeah, probably. I still don't think Orange and Danhausen should have been. I mean, I get it, storyline. Like I get what you're saying. It feels very clunky, and it feels Best Friends are always getting screwed out of stuff. It just, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be a good match. And as crappy, and we've talked about it before, the bills for pay-per-views are generally not good, and then they always deliver. It's never on the performers. Like I expect them to deliver. I'm sure this match I will probably enjoy it more than I think I will.
I mean, it's three good teams. It's not like
I mean, yeah, there are good teams in there. I think the Acclaim title run ran. I think it ended too early.
Agree.
I don't know if
agree.
I don't know if they ended it to give it to the Guns because they thought FTR was coming back, and then FTR decided not to yet, or they're still thinking about it, or whatever. So they're like, "Oh crap, the Guns have the titles now." So, like, you would think that if Triple J is the way they're going, that they would have just had Triple J win the titles off of the Acclaimed instead of the Guns pivot. I don't know.
We'll see.
It looks on paper like it's kind of a mess, but I mean, Brad does make a good point. They do have stories with each other, so I guess it's not as messy as it seems. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
New graphic ready?
Ready.
Let's see. Oh, I didn't want to.
There it is.
There it is.
Finally, we got it.
That's the graphic. Right. I don't know where they're going to put that on the card, but that was what was next on this list. So yeah, there you go. You get your big meaty men slapping meat match. That's it right there. That's. I mean, I don't know who's going to win. I guess you can give it to Wardlow.
I think it's going to be Wardlow because I think Samoa Joe is going to be on ROH. Yeah.
think that's
At least for
probably
now, like I don't think they'll completely move him away from AEW TV because he's so popular. But I think to rebuild ROH back up, I think Samoa Joe will be there. I think he'll have the ROH TV title, and then obviously the winner of tonight's match has to face Powerhouse Hobbs on Dynamite, which Powerhouse can't really afford to lose, but you can't have Wardlow lose either. So I don't know what I don't know. I feel like they've just booked themselves into a corner again with these two, because the story seems to stop and start, and feels like they can't get over. And the Book of Hobbs, like the actual book prop, doesn't seem to be working. It seemed cool in theory, like when we were getting the promos.
Was awesome. I'm sorry, his lexicon or whatever, but this is not working.
Yeah,
props.
No, yeah, Powerhouse is doing the best he can with what he's being given, and it's not on him at all. It's the booking. They just don't know what to do with him, and I'm glad he was the correct choice to win the face of the Revolution ladder match. He should have won. I mean, Takeshita was my other favorite, but I was like, I knew as soon as he lost, I was like, that's going to push him to Don Callis, and it seems exactly like that's what they're doing.
They've been doing that for a while.
They've been teasing it.
When are they going to pull the trigger on this?
It sounds like they are now, because on Rampage,
well, yeah, they had to talk to him afterwards.
But he is going back to Japan because he has some DDT match. He has some DDT dates. I don't know when. I don't remember when they are, but he is on the DDT show that is in LA Mania weekend. He's on, but then he's not. He's only doing the one show, so he could potentially be doing Supercard the next day.
And apparently the crowd at the Cow Palace did not like the suggestion of him when he said he should go back to Japan.
Oh, I heard. It was, but he's already in
person. It was even the groan was even more resounding in real life. I was like, that's
that loud on TV.
I have you don't hear collective groans like that very often.
Well, and I guess that kind of goes that answer, because Brad talked about, he pointed this out a while back when we were talking about Ibushi and could that hurt Takeshita? Doesn't seem like it at this point.
Nope.
I mean, obviously it's a different story if and when Ibushi
different
gets
kind
there.
Of guy, I think, too.
But but he makes the point. But it seems like Takeshita's pretty well loved. But I do think I can't remember the dates that he's supposed to go back to Japan, but he's tweeted about it recently enough. So I guess they're kind of hinting at that. So maybe he'll lose whatever. He'll go wrestle his DDT matches and then come back and I guess be with Don Callis.
All right, I'm hoping. You ready for a new graphic?
I'm ready.
Let's see if this is the graphic I want. Yes.
Nope.
No,
that's the dark. I mean, that's the 0 hour match that we talked about.
Damn it. All right.
Not it.
You're right. We did say that.
Yep.
Wait.
Right.
Oh no, wait. I know this one. This one I saw.
We're very professional here on the Powerbombshells show. There we go.
Let's talk about this match. Let me get
the elusive unicorn women's match. the one and only women's match so far, unless there's something on I keep wanting to call it the buy-in 0 hour. It's this one.
It's Jamie.
It's the I keep forgetting people who are not watching this or listening to this, they cannot see the graphics, but it's Jamie Hayter.
That is their bad.
Yes, it's Jamie Hayter versus Saraya versus Ruby Soho for the AEW Women's World Championship, with
inevitable interference from Dr. Britt Baker, DMD,
because they can't keep her away from that.
Because they can't stop. They can't resist. But I mean, I guess we'll see how this goes. I hope that Jamie's first defense is a win, because it would suck otherwise.
Yeah, I think Jamie retains here. God, Brad, me either. He said, I hope they aren't thinking about putting this on Saraya. There's so many reasons they should not, storyline wise, and then there's the outside stuff that would make it even worse, and I just really don't want them to do that.
It's so wrong. Jamie Hayter is really over. That doesn't seem like the right move to me at all right now.
I really hope that they aren't trying to use All Access as a reason to do like cross promotion and put the title on her because she's going to be on All Access. I don't think it's the right time.
That's right,
Soraya's
because
had,
now they're going to be considering their stupid reality
which
shows
is
into
why
the.
that was one of the reasons I didn't care for Total Divas, because they were booking shit on Total Divas and doing it on TV. And I'm afraid that's what's going to happen here. But Soraya's not ready for a title. She's had like 4 matches since she's been back.
She's
Jamie
not the
is
right. There's too many women on
no,
this roster for too long. That I
exactly.
mean, if they're going to take
Yeah.
it off Jamie, they can't give it to somebody like Saraya who just showed up. They need to give it to like Ruby or.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
but
Jamie is super over. She's gotten herself over. Her character is really working now that because like even in the media call, he was talking about how when we first saw Jamie Hayter, she was different. Then the pandemic happened. She got a new look. She got a different type of style in the ring. We got a different character from her. It's working for her. I think it would be. I don't think Saraya would be the answer, and I don't think this is where they're going, but I've talked about it before. I think Ruby Soho should be the one to take the title off of Jade because she beat Ruby to become the TBS champion. So the story is right there. Ruby gets her revenge and she gets the title. That's how I would book that. But and if they want the TBS title to be booked, they were saying the TNT championship in their eyes, TNT championship is on the same level as the AEW World Championship. Well, then you want the TBS championship to be booked, and Jade is an excellent champion. And I think Jade has been wonderful, but you've got to keep that going. And so I would put that title on Ruby. Like I'd leave this title on Jamie and I would put the TBS title on Ruby.
I like that.
That's what I would do. If they're not, because especially if Chris Statlander's not ready yet, then Ruby makes the most sense to me. And I think that's what they should do. But yeah, I'm sure there's gonna people. I can't tell because some people are wondering if this is going to be where Ruby turns and she joins the freelance, because they've called themselves the freelancers before. You can call them the outsiders, whatever. I don't know what I've just referred to them as the outsiders because they were doing similar gimmicks. Apparently,
at some point it was invaders.
Yeah, and at one point they referred to themselves as freelancers. So
I don't like invaders because of the negative connotation that the invasion situation might have for some people my age.
Right.
Gives me trauma.
Right. Yeah. So
really,
I don't know. I guess Ruby could potentially turn, but Ruby has said that she has done, she's like, I did the group thing. It was the best time, one of the best times in my life doing the group thing. But now I'm just looking out for me because I can only trust me. But that could just be a cover, and then she goes and joins. They've got to do something with this storyline because it's not working. I still think they should pull Nyla Rose from YouTube, put her in this. If Riho's going to be around long enough, they should put Riho in this.
I love it at Riho back. She's so over.
Use Emmy.
God, please. She's so awesome.
Emmy's amazing. We saw it again Friday night.
That was a great match
with Riho. That was a wonderful match. Like, there's things they could be doing.
That's like watching a TJPW or a Stardom match, though.
Yeah.
That's very, 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 very. I know that's where they both wrestled in both of those places, and having seen that. Oh, that quickly reminded me that the Muda show is available on the free portions of, I think, Wrestling Universe, and I think it's on World too. So go watch it.
Yeah. Definitely.
If you have not,
that will be on my list of things to watch. I don't know if I'll get to it.
That goes for everyone. That's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get to that at some point because I do want to see that show.
Because like until Forbidden Door 2 happens, that's like right now, and it's March. It's my show of the year still.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna.
There haven't been that many, and they've also been WWE shows.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out.
But it's a great show. It's just so good, so good. Anyway, sorry. Let's get back to this. Wait, okay. I think we're to the main. What are we on now?
The trios, the other trios match, the one that's for the trios title. Nope, not that one.
That's the 0 Hour trios match.
Not that one. The one that's for the trios title.
That's the same graphic.
Did I not send you the House of Black Elite picture?
Where is it? There it is. No, it isn't. Hang on.
I sent that picture to you, didn't I? Did I not include it?
You know what? If you wait, I got it. There it is.
Yeah, we got it. We did it.
Huzzah! All right. Power Bombshells
It's
bringing
because
you
they
the
were. It's because
best
House of Black was
in
probably turning out lights and you couldn't see.
no kayfabe. That's exactly what. See, Sam knows. My lights went completely black in
Yeah,
here.
y'all didn't see that. Y'all didn't see
Didn't see
You
it.
didn't see Mel disappear into the darkness.
I just went. It was black. They turned the lights out again. I am getting that. Thank you for bringing that up because I'm like that was cute when it was actually used, but it's getting old.
Yeah.
I
mean,
but I think this is going to be a good match, though.
I think the match is going to be really good. I think the kind of the like I did the promo where they cut like where they took. Well, let me back that up. Wednesday, when the Elite came out there for a match they did not have. They were doing their entrance. There was no match ever scheduled. There was nobody in the ring for them. There was never going to be a match. So they just beat them up in their entrance and took their belts. Then they gave it back in a promo. It was
awesome.
Yeah, the promo was something about fear and all this crap. We'll give you these belts because they belong to you, but we're taking them back on Sunday. And I was like,
it's long term. It's long term storytelling, Sam.
I mean, maybe I'm not supposed to understand because because Malachi talks in riddles, so maybe I'm not supposed to.
You don't understand.
I don't get it.
You don't get it.
I'm not on his level. I don't get it. I'm a woman. I don't get wrestling booking.
Especially because you're a woman.
Yeah, so that must be the reason. So hopefully, maybe I'll understand better when I watch the match.
It's such a bummer because I feel like the trios stuff got messed up so hard by All Out that it's like I really, 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 really want to be excited. But when they finally rolled them out, it kind of I know it'll get back on track, and I know that this might be the match that actually makes the trios belts what they were trying to go for when they originally had the unfortunate punk situation happen. So
Brad says as incoherent as House of Black promos are, they still make more sense than a Bray Wyatt promo.
You know what?
Listen, I love Bray Wyatt,
I
haven't seen a lot of stuff lately because I don't regularly.
Brad is absolutely 100% correct.
Well, and they were doing a great job, and then they just I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't know. And I hate it because I love Bray Wyatt. I think he's great, and he just whatever.
I hate to be the one to bring this out there, but Bray Wyatt is just shittier evil. He's just shittier evil with a better special effects.
Maybe if he had come to AEW and they could do the stuff with Broken Matt and put him back with Matt Hardy, because they seem to be on the same page with a lot of that type of stuff. Maybe they could make something work, but I don't know how long I don't know what his deal is over there, like how long he signed for.
Bad.
Yeah, I've heard. But yeah, so
it was so great, and they did all that stuff, and then
yeah,
so it happens in both companies, I guess.
Yes, it does happen. It happens everywhere. But yeah, so I think I really, really enjoyed the Best of 7 series that the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers did, just because I love both teams. I think that they both bring out some of the best in each other. And I thought that was incredible. House of Black is really great, and I think the match itself will be good. I do think the Elite retains. So I don't know where they go from here, like which set of trios they put them in. Maybe Dark Order and Evil Uno, Silver and Reynolds. Maybe that's the next trios that faces them. Maybe they keep the House of Black thing going for a little bit because House of Black needs something to do. And I like them. They've just got to get some of their stuff together. So maybe and Revolution is the first pay-per-view of the year. And this kind of sets the tone for the year, and the first of the year kind of resets things. They haven't. So maybe that's why we're getting like Jungle Boy and Christian, and we're getting Starks and Jericho, because we're kind of going to end some story. Well, and even the first two matches, I mean, the next two matches, they're long-term stories as well. Mm-hmm. So maybe kind of get some endings here and reset. The first quarter, we're ending the first quarter of 2023, and we're going to be setting up for the next 3 quarters. So maybe, this pay-per-view is some ending of some stories, and hopefully they begin some new ones, and maybe they figure out what the hell they're doing with the women's stuff. That's too much to ask for, so we'll see. But yeah, I think it'll be a really good match. I won't be surprised if this is the second match because the Young Bucks almost always go. If they don't go on first, they nearly always are second match on the cards of pay-per-view. So I will not be surprised.
Well, there's 2 whoppers left on this card still.
Yeah, this match, these two, I think will be separated. I think Mox versus Danielson will go higher on the card because I mean they could go back to back. You could take a Texas Death Match back to back with a 60-minute Iron Man, but if Texas Death Match is going to be as emotional and bloody as I think we're going to need to breathe a little bit. But
yeah, I don't know if you want to go off the air with this one, and they're not.
The main event. They've said the main event will be the 60 minute. Yep. Tony confirmed that on the call, and he confirmed that's why the card is on the lighter side for them. It's less because
it's still going to be a 6-hour paper.
Because but if the entire last hour is dedicated to MJF versus Danielson. Yes. So this is probably the match that I'm looking forward to the most.
Should have put that graphic up too.
It is for those of you who are listening.
This one here.
Yep. MJF versus not this one.
We're going back to that one.
Hangman. Yep.
Hangman Page versus John Moxley in a Texas Death Match.
Yeah, this is the one I'm looking forward to the most because I love both of them very much. I love them for very different reasons. They're very different type. I mean, they're as different as they are. They are very similar in a lot of ways too, which is why I think they work so well together. Adam Page had 2 Texas Death matches during his title run, and both of them were really great. He won both of those. I think this is going to be after those promos on Wednesday, man. This is just going to be. I think we're going to see a different side of Hangman that we haven't seen in a while. I mean, we've seen glimpses of them in these Texas Death matches, but I think it's gotten so personal. And Nikki says Texas Death matches rule. Yes, they do. Big agree on that. But yeah, I think Hangman even revealed because we knew in the promo that he said he forgot his son's name for like an hour. Then he says on Wednesday he doesn't have feeling in his fingertips. I believe that's the first time we've heard this, that he's still feeling these effects. And it kind of goes back to the Adam Cole stuff. He was feeling all these effects months after back-to-back concussions. And, it's only a few months removed since Hangman has his concussion and he still doesn't have feeling in his fingertips. And so I think he's desperate. And so I think that makes him dangerous. And I think that he sees how seriously Mox is taking this, and because Mox is talking about how, there's no other animal like him in AEW, in the ecosystem. There's only room for one of them. John Moxley is that guy. We talked about it on the Dynamite show that he looked like he did after his match with Tom Lawler and Defy. Mm-hmm. He was extremely bloody, bleeding all over the steps, and I still would like to know who had to clean up what poor person had to clean up all that blood.
Always thinking about Sam is a working class hero, okay? He's always looking out for the people that have
I was just like, I was like, man, he looks cool as hell. Who has to clean all that up and make sure it doesn't stain the steps? Can you imagine being in that venue and walking by and be like, where the hell did all this blood come from on these 3 steps?
Out of context, that would be terrible.
Somebody who doesn't know a wrestling show took place there in 2023.
Oh my God, there's a murder in this hallway.
Who's bleeding on these steps? But yeah, so that's what I was thinking about. I was like, man, this promo is great. Who has to clean up all that damn blood?
You are so cute. I have to say this I've been saying this the whole time is like Adam Page, Hangman Page, always shows up for big matches. He always he can have mediocre matches on TV sometimes, or you can forget, or he can be misbooked or whatever. But every big match, like since that Suzuki match on that G1, all those years ago, where he grew up.
Yep.
Like he leveled up that day.
Yeah, he's like big match Hangman Page now.
Never not shown up. Like I fully expect, and especially because of the way they built this story is awesome. Mm-hmm. But how can this not be good?
Yeah.
Because
This
Hangman
could be
always shows up. He
I
always is ready for big matches.
yeah, he's big match Hangman. Definitely.
It's
And
amazing.
I think this will probably be match of the night. Not that I think the 60-minute like I think that's going to be a great
awesome.
match. But I think this is the one that will be the match of the night. I think this is the match that everybody will talk about when you talk about Revolution 2023. This will be the match that people go back to. That's my prediction for this show. I think this is the one. I think Hangman wins here. I think he needs this win. I talked about it a little bit on Wednesday, but he needs this win. It will not hurt Jon Moxley to lose to Hangman. I think it just in the way they've been booking Hangman, it will hurt him to lose to Jon Moxley. I think he has to have this win. I think this is one of his bigger. This is his first. I think this is probably his biggest match since he lost the title, and I think he has the win here. And I hope that's what happens. I mean, again, I will not be mad if either person wins. I'm a huge Jon Moxley fan, but I'm a huge Hangman fan. But I think Hangman needs it more than Jon Moxley.
I think I tend to agree with you, and I think that that's probably the right outcome. And maybe, just maybe, Jon Moxley will get that vacation.
Maybe he vacations between now and the house show, or maybe they make him wrestle maybe that was the condition. We'll pull you. We're pulling you off of Scrappermania. Please do this house show.
We're pulling you off of Scrappermania to do a house show in East BF freaking Ohio.
And then you can have your vacation.
Jesus.
Maybe that's what they promised him. You can have a vacation if you.
It's only a block away from.
And then we have to book him at Disneyland, because if you missed it a while back, we booked Disneyland. Yeah. See, Brad, we talked about that too. Is if Mox goes on vacation, does Renee go too? I would say
to reason.
I would say yes, but they are currently, because I follow her on Insta Story, they are currently remodeling their house. So I don't know if Renee, unless it gets finished in time, then maybe Renee will be allowed.
Maybe that's why they're not going on vacation, because they have to oversee contractors, which is a pain in the hole.
Yeah, she's having her bathroom redone and the kitchen redone.
In real life. Ugh.
And then she ripped up, because she was having to record the sessions from Nora's her room, because that was the only room in the house that was quiet and you couldn't hear construction. So she was having to record it.
As someone who owns a rescue house, I totally feel you, Renee. At least my dogs aren't as scared of loud banging and stuff, because it consumed much of their early life.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Re-roofed, re-shingled. Hey, houses are awesome. All right, we got one more match and then a major announcement.
Okay, yes.
Okay, one more match and a major announcement. Mm-hmm. So let me make sure I click the right one. I'm not going to. I just jinxed myself. I didn't. I just need to remind you what we just talked about. Here we go. The AEW World Championship 60-minute Iron Man match. I'm going to do voices.
I want to preface this with, and I think it's a really good point on the media call. Tony's made the point, because he was asked, why now? Like, why is this an Iron Man match now? And he said he thinks it's the best. He said in an Iron Man match, you have to use your skill and your creativity, because you've got to last an hour. And he said he thinks these two are two of the best to try that with. We've seen Danielson do some of the Broadway matches. We've seen him go 30 minutes. We've seen him do some stuff like that. This will be a test for MJF. Because he's never done it before, and this is a title match. We know, when MJF won the title, he said he was going to work harder, not smarter, which meant he was not going to be defending. He wasn't going to be a fighting champion. He fights when he feels like it. And so,
which we all pretty much could have figured out.
Yeah. So he's got to prep. He doesn't wrestle, and then you see Danielson's been out here just having banger matches like nearly every single week.
Danielson, I told Bob the other day, I was like, I feel like Tony's got to reel that guy in. He probably goes around and wants to wrestle people in the freaking audience. He's like, I want to wrestle him and him.
Wrestle in the parking lot.
He's like nonstop. Like, the one thing I will say is, like, since he came in the door, man, wrestle.
Right. Hello, connecting people through wrestling. It says aloha from Arkansas. Thank you for the preview. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. That's
Hope
awesome.
that you enjoy the show tonight, and that you have a good time, and and I'm glad that you have enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to.
No, you were good. That's great. Definitely cut me off for that stuff. That's way more important than my silly opinion about
No, stop.
men in spandex. Woo! No, I'm very excited for like this 60-minute Iron Man. I don't think I've seen one in a while. I can't even remember the last time. I wouldn't be able to tell you the last time I saw a 60-minute Iron Man match. So I'm very excited. Don't they Hey, right on. Go Hawks. Yep. 12th man. 5 ever. Love it.
Yeah, I think this will be a good match. I think
I'm just so happy people tune into our show.
Me too. Right.
Thank you so much. We love you so much.
But yeah, I think this is I think it's smart to do this match. I think it makes MJF have to work. MJF can wrestle. I think people forget that sometimes. MJF is very good at what he does. Yes, he's known for the microphone and he's very good at that, but he is very good at wrestling.
He's a good wrestler.
And sometimes we forget that, I think, just because we don't because we don't see it as much.
He makes us forget it.
Yeah, he does.
His whole persona, his whole the way that he conducts being a pro wrestler makes you forget, oh yeah, this guy has to pro wrestle.
He can back up his big mouth.
Yeah.
He really can back up being the champion. Yeah.
I mean, some of the best matches, one of the best matches in AEW ever was a match that he had with Moxley, that one.
Yeah.
And that was early on in his
yeah, and even his match, and that's why I go back to those Jungle Boy matches and why that's what I'm ready for that feud. He and Jack Perry have had some really good matches, especially early on when they were both establishing themselves in AEW. They just did some really great stuff, and they're two different wrestlers now. They've got even more
they're older and wiser.
Yeah, and so I want to see, I'm ready. I'm hoping that's where this leads. I'm hoping I hope the next feud is with Jack. I hope
I like that.
I want it to have, and I mean, of course, I do think at some point MJF and Wardlow, you have to go back to that story.
Sure.
But I think Wardlow needs the title, and they need to push him properly like they were, and kind of build him back up, and then make that match happen. So maybe that's a match that we get down the line, because after hearing the guys on the Boom talk about it, I am of the same mindset that they are. I think that MJF holds this title through next January because of the WWE contract stuff, because they can't sign him if he's the champion. So I think they're gonna keep him. I think they're gonna keep the title on him at least through January. Maybe it's until next Revolution, possibly. Maybe he loses it then, or maybe he gets maybe he loses it before then on one of the big January shows, and then he has a rematch at Revolution and he loses. They could potentially do that, but I kind of that mindset of that he's going to be the champion for the next year. So if they do that, then you have time to tell. I think you have time to tell the story with Jack Perry. I think you have time to tell the story with Wardlow. So maybe that's not a Double or Nothing. Maybe that's a Full Gear story. Maybe Wardlow and maybe because Full Gear was the paper. Wait, was Full Gear the pay-per-view that all this? No, it was Double or Nothing. As all this happened, right? Is that when MJF threatened to leave?
Yes,
and they almost didn't have the match. I mean, they could.
It was All Out. It was Double or Nothing. That's right. It was, because Garrett was actually, that's what Garrett got misquoted about hating Tony
about
Khan.
hating.
That he said that he was frustrated with the fact that so much was going on during Double or Nothing, because including the MJF stuff that just got totally because of all the other stuff that was happening, they got pushed out of there, and he never got nothing ever happened.
Yeah, so maybe they could spend some time with Jack. I still think Jack gets a title match at some point. So maybe they build up the Jack stuff a little bit, or maybe, and then at the same time, they're building Wardlow up as TNT champion. And then maybe he drops the title to Powerhouse, which frees him up for Maxwell. Maybe they revisited at Double or Nothing, or maybe it gets reignited at Double or Nothing. Maybe, maybe Wardlow shows up and nearly costs MJF the title, and that sets up the next storyline and runs them through for a couple of months. Like, there's a couple of different things. I think there's some things that they could do here. Possibly they put Adam Cole in the title picture at some point. Once he kind of gets back into the motions of thing, then maybe Adam Cole's the baby face that goes against him. So I think there's some stuff. I think that they can do some stuff with MJF to pick up what he's doing. So I think Danielson is a good test for him, and I do think Danielson will be the champion at some point. I just don't think it will be this year. I think it will be next year. That's my mindset. I could be completely wrong. Maybe I'm very wrong, but that's just what I would do.
It does make a lot of sense, and like hearing it repeated, in your words, like sort of like I think that probably it doesn't. I don't feel like Danielson, like, I hate to say it like this, but I don't feel like he wants the title right now.
I mean, he claimed on Saturday that he Wednesday, he claimed, because of course, he's going for the title, so he claims that. But yeah, I don't think, because
I don't see him wanting, like, does he want to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door 2 for the AEW title?
I don't know if it's for that title. Zach did say on ROH, he spoke into the camera and said he hoped Danielson was watching because he is the best technical wrestler. So they're still teasing it.
I don't know. Wow. I mean, I don't want to.
I don't know that it would be a title match. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's going to be a TV title match.
That was it. I realized that I just conundrumed my own self, because I was like, oh my God, would they do a 15-minute time limit with those two?
God, can you? I would be.
I mean, it would be amazing.
Would be great, but I would be a little.
But I want to see the real match, and then they can do the 15-minute match.
Yeah. Me too.
I mean, I guess my point is that, like, if they were going to give Danielson the title, they would at least want to keep it on him through sometime during the summer. I would think through Double or Nothing and Forbidden Door,
right?
And then you would have Zach would be wrestling for the title, and I don't know if that's as good of a story as what you're talking about with Max,
right? And then if Zach going to be, well, it depends on.
And I'm just assuming. I have no idea. Like, we all. That's because I am fantasy booking a dream match,
right?
Pretty much.
No, I want that match.
So, wants to see.
And then, and it got brought up. Danielson brought it up again recently. Like, he said he's something like he's bugging Tony Khan 33% of the time about being in the G1.
That's the other thing.
I want him to be in the G1, but would Tony give that match away in the G1 for the first time, giving Zach versus Danielson away in G1, or would he want that for Forbidden Door, and then they could maybe have a rematch at G1?
Oh my God. Maybe. I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Could you imagine that match, though? That match is huge, and I love AEW, but that is a Tokyo Dome match.
Yeah. Yep.
It should have been. I know why they didn't do it this year, but it should have been. That is a Tokyo Dome match.
Agree.
And it should happen at the Tokyo. That's
maybe they'll do two matches. Like, maybe one will be indecisively decided, and the other will be like the Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes.
That's how. Because they're gonna have to trade loss. I mean, somebody's gonna like.
Yeah.
Even with Okada and Kiyomiya, like they
can't be like Noah and go and like New Japan and Noah, where New Japan won all the big matches. Like, you can't have AEW going in and win all of the big matches in New Japan. Can't do that.
Different. All right. That was everything.
Yes. So before we move on, do you have any big predictions on, you think anybody's going to show up? You think anything? Oh, I do want to say,
oh yeah, we are supposed to, because we are supposed to get some surprises, I guess. Maybe,
I do think that I want to go back to this match real quick. I do think that MJF gets frustrated by not being able to beat Danielson clean. That he uses the Dynamite Diamond Ring on Danielson. He lays him out like he did William Regal, because that's the perfect way to get Danielson back. Danielson still talks about William Regal, how much that man means to him. I think he will lay him out the exact same way, and I think that's how he's going to win. I don't think he'll beat him clean.
Interesting.
So that's my other big prediction for the show. Is I think that's what I think is going to happen.
I have like no good big predictions.
Yeah, I don't. One. Yeah, those are my. That's my. I think
because the more I've been thinking about it, the more I'm like, a lot of these things seem like. I mean, you could see a Danielson win. That would be a big, huge swerve in my mind. But
right,
I have nothing like. I don't know. I have no feelings, but maybe someone will show up today because there are a bunch of people floating around right now.
I do think the Acclaimed get the titles back, but I almost see them
hope
putting.
so.
That's what I want to happen, but I think they're going to put it on. I think actually they may just put them on Triple J.
I think it's going to be on Triple J
because they're gonna run. They're running. With it while they can kind of like the Acclaim. Like you kind of have to run with it while it's hot. So I think they're kind of because a lot of people are really into the Triple J stuff, and so I could see that. I'm trying to think. Maybe we find out what the hell happened to Mercedes Martinez. That's a conversation I've had.
There you go.
I've had that conversation like 4 times this weekend. Nobody knows what happened to her. She's not been used since Final Battle. Nobody seems to know if she's been injured again. Somebody pointed out to me that she's not been booked on any indie shows as well. So we don't know what's going on there. Serena Deeb has disappeared. I assume they were gonna bring her back over for Ring of Honor. Well, I mean, Mercedes Martinez as well. It doesn't seem like they're going to get involved unless they bring them back to get involved in this storyline with the women's, like the Outsiders and Originals.
Maybe think of something.
So maybe that. I definitely don't see Mercedes Moné being involved. I don't think she wants to. I think she's busy.
I don't see that.
She's got 2 really big
matches. But I don't see that.
Really big matches coming up next month, and I think that's her focus.
No, we could see.
Brad said he asked Sean Ross Sapp where Mercedes Martinez is during the Fightful Q&A, and he skipped over my question, so he has no idea. Yeah, I've wondered. I mean, we've talked about it a few times, like where is she? But that question has picked up a lot over the last few days, and I've had that conversation with like 4 different people in the last.
How about
few
this
days.
one? Here's a little mind blower because she did do a Forgive Me tour. What if we see Thunder Rosa tonight?
I don't think so. She's not. She's not anywhere near being cleared from what they say.
So?
That's why they've put her on commentary for the Spanish and outside because unless they are really lying about how severe her injury is to surprise people, I don't think so.
They said that she did do she did come back to the company and she was like in conversations with people. So there are does sound like they are prepping to have her. Back.
From what I understand,
whenever she's cleared.
Back injuries are so, and Nikki can definitely testify to this. They're so you can't. They're unpredictable, and it sounds like her recovery is not going as quickly as they had hoped. She has been able to do a few things from what I understand, but it sounds like they're trying to just get her back on the road and have her doing some sort of work. And so that's my understanding is that's why they brought her in to make amends. I would love to see her back. I just, from what I've heard her say, I don't think that she's in any, I don't think she's ready.
She's not ready.
From how I've heard it, I don't think so.
And then maybe we get the Statlander surprise. Maybe not.
Yeah. So maybe she's really not as hurt as she's been leading us to believe.
Maybe. I mean, it's their job to kayfabe us all the time.
Maybe the big surprise is that we get more than one damn women's match. I don't know.
Yay!
But yeah, I don't really have any big thing because I was like, it doesn't sound like FTR is coming back. CM Punk is not coming back right now. I don't think that
they would save that for Double or Nothing.
Right. Anyway. They would, and you can't just spring that situation on the locker room. Like that's got to be a thing, kind of like they're doing with Thunder Rosa. They've had Thunder Rosa come.
They were a lot of the people that I listened to and people in our group were saying that they were saying essentially like maybe they're using the Thunder Rosa Forgiveness Tour as a test run for the CM Punk Forgiveness Tour.
Maybe
a dry run.
That's certainly possible. So I don't think so. I think if we get some surprises tonight, maybe it's Scorpio Sky. Maybe they saw him at Impact.
I'd love to see someone fun from New Japan. I'd love to just see someone just fun from New Japan. Just to start some. I mean, the New Japan Cup started today. They could promote it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe set up a match
because Zach is there, and we know it won't be Aussie Open because they're in that tournament as well, so it won't be any of those 3.
But and I mean, people like Suzuki are around touring, and he's not really signed. Yeah. He's just kind of out there. So I mean,
maybe maybe Kenta. I mean, Kenta's been doing stuff in Impact.
That's right. That's floating around too. I keep forgetting that.
Kenta's doing Impact. He does have the strong title. Okay. Juice helped him get that title. I still have not watched that match yet. I keep forgetting I need to go back and watch it. And then we had the stuff with, obviously there's the stuff with, well, Finley's in that tournament too. So maybe something with Juice and Kenta. I don't know. Yeah, this one usually I could. Usually, there's a lot of rumors about like who can show. Like,
yeah, this is weird.
I mean, obviously Jay White. I mean, he could come if that's. I don't want him to.
I did see some people say that they might be announcing that they are your women's show that you asked the question about. They might be that might be one of the things they're actually announcing.
I will not hold my breath for that. I want it, but I'm not holding my breath. I know.
Well, that's my bold prediction then.
Okay, well then I will take that.
My bold prediction is that they announce a women's show tonight.
Okay, I will take that prediction.
That's pretty bold, actually.
That's actually very bold. That's very bold of you to assume that Tony knows how to book more than one women's match at a time, that he can book an entire show that has women's matches.
It was an idea.
Storylines, character development.
It was an idea we had, okay? Shut up about it.
Right. Okay, I guess it's time to make this big announcement.
This is our last thing, and then we'll let you guys go and get ready for your Revolution rest of your day.
Yeah.
But wait, I gotta use the graphic because it's evergreen AF. There it is. Well, it says Tony. It says Tony Khan, but we love it and we downloaded it and we've been using it.
We need to mark out the Tony Khan and put Powerbombshells. Or like
there's a great meme.
We should put our graphic over top of
it. We're totally stealing this, actually.
Put the Powerbombshells graphic over Tony Khan's name.
Can I do that? Wait, I think I can.
I don't know if you can do it right now, but
I don't have the thing in the bubble logo. Crap.
Damn. Next time we'll be more prepared when we have an important announcement.
Where did that go? It's usually right up here. I'm so mad. All right. Anyway. Yeah, we're stalling. You guys are like, just fucking tell us already. What the hell is this big announcement? It's probably not even a big deal. Except that it is. It is a huge deal because next week at 1 p.m. Eastern, live on the Powerbombshells show that you are watching right now, we will have the effing king of recovery himself, Mr. Jim Valley, live on our show. He's going to give us some time. We don't know exactly how much at the moment, but
we will take whatever time he can give us.
Yeah, every time. And he is gonna
we're basically building next week's show around him. Mm-hmm. He can stay for the whole thing. He can stay for 20 minutes, whatever he wants to do.
Correct. Yes, we are having Mr. King of effing King of Recovery himself. I'm so excited. Jim actually wanted to be an honorary broad for the day.
We will allow
I am happy to accommodate him. And we're also going to make sure that we put his information, because some of you may know and some of you may not know, but Jim is currently on the donor list for a kidney. And while being on the donor list is great and it takes a lot to get there, having a living donor is obviously the most like optimum situation. And so we are going to go ahead and obviously, because we already do this stuff, and he'll be a great fit. I can't wait because it's going to be so much fun to just talk with him about stuff and wrestling.
I'm excited.
He's done him and Fumi did a Stardom show. They got to do some promotion. They did the announce team for a Stardom show a couple years before the plague. All kinds of stuff, any stuff. So I guess if you have questions during the week that you might want us to,
please send them. We'll be more
definitely give us a shout.
Definitely during the live stream, because as far as we know, it's still planning to be a live thing. We did say if we needed to pre-tape, we would, but it appears that it will still just be live next week.
Seems like he's ready to go live with us, and that.
Yeah. So I mean, you can certainly ask questions in the chat next Sunday, but if you want to pre-ask anything, please feel free to do that. Brad is very excited. He said Jim in all caps with exclamation points and said, yes, that's awesome. And then we also have another awesome in the comments. So we are from Gray. And so we are very excited about that. I was very excited when Mel told me last week. She's like, hey, so guess who wants to be on the show? And that is not who I expected. So, and she's like, he wants to be an honorary broad. I was like, get him on. Nikki said, woo-hoo.
Come on. I mean, I'm really excited, and Jim's such an awesome person. I'm so excited to just talk wrestling with that guy, because he's and then what'll be really cool is like he does Wrestling Observer Live at 1:00 on Saturdays. live, and he uses his YouTube channel. So you can like go bother
Excuse me.
him on Saturday, and then you get to see him again on Sunday. And
Yeah. So
I
next weekend is Jim Valley weekend.
It's Jim Valley weekend. We're gonna have special. Well, we are definitely gonna make Garrett help us channel that our birthday graphic.
Yes, if you saw our birthday graphic, when we turned a year old, we had this cute little terrier in a party hat and stuff. So we're going to adopt that terrier and make that. We're going to use him.
It's going to be an official.
We're going to make him we'll make him in our TonyCon announcement too. We'll just pop him. We should pop the logo on there and then pop the dog like in the underneath where it says important announcement, and then have the dog and we're going to use, we need to name that dog.
We just get Garrett in on this and it's going to be beautiful. We will name it. We'll have a good name for it.
Maybe we should, if you have any suggestions for what the Powerbombshells dog should be, we're going to end up having this dog on a shirt, aren't we?
As soon as we get our shirts and pins and hats going, you people will get, we're going to take Danhausen on, okay?
Yeah, right?
Our stuff, he may be very nice and very evil, but we are very adorable.
We are.
And very Powerbombshelly.
That dog's gonna end up on as long as we don't get in trouble for it.
He looked like a pretty open source dog to me.
Probably. Yeah. So I think this is probably where we need to end it.
Definitely. But join us next week. That is so awesome. And thanks for sticking with us for
we eventually got to the Revolution preview. Thank you for sticking around. If you did, and if you joined us late, you missed some fun stuff in the beginning.
There's a replay that will be available immediately following this.
Also like ROH on the Honor Club. As soon as ROH ends, it restarts.
Oh, Sam's mic is messing with her. Your mic is messing with you now.
Of course it is.
There we go.
Okay.
You're back.
So what I had said before my mic cut me out, did it cut me off again?
No. Okay. I was just saying that because I was like, Sam said something, and then
I was saying that ROH repeats, like as soon as it ends, the show repeats. Nice. That's us. You can just watch the replay, and then you'll have the audio tomorrow, which I guess you'll have maybe we should put the audio up today since tomorrow it'll be outdated, unless people didn't watch Revolution live, and then they can come listen to our predictions first.
I might put it up. I could probably put it up early.
We have a suggestion that the dog's name should be Kayfabe.
That's just a Kayfabe. That's amazing.
I like it. Maybe I don't know if that'll be topped. Please send in more suggestions, but I don't know if I don't know if that'll be topped. That's a pretty good one.
Pretty good. That's excellent.
I like that.
So definitely hit us up during the week if you guys want to ask Jim any questions, or you want us to ask Jim any questions.
If you have any dog name,
if you have any other suggestions better than Kayfabe,
which I don't know that you will.
Carrier.
That's a great name.
That's excellent.
All right.
All right, guys. Enjoy your Revolution.
Enjoy your Sunday. 8 hours of pay-per-view now that you've spent 2 hours with us.
Correct. What's Sam?
And we'll see you next week, and we hope you have a great week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.